Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome back to another episode of The Watch. But with me, Jean-Luc, let's make some noise. Clap it up, get excited. Wherever you are, we are back with another action-packed show for you today, as we are 2 weeks away, or in fact, a little bit less than 2 weeks away, from one of the biggest fights that we've had in in this decade, with Crawford versus Canelo. Final preparations are being made from both camps in lieu of this historic, monumental, potentially groundbreaking fight that can potentially shake up the tectonic plates of the world of all-time greatness in the landscape of boxing. And we're here essentially to go through any last questions, comments, and concerns in regards to this fight, because after this, this week, end of the week, I'm giving my full-blown breakdown. Like I said before, but way back, I think, 2 weeks ago, I said I'm prepping to make sure that I got my full-blown breakdown by this week, and that's being made today. It's being made today. Oh, yeah. Bye. It's either going to be Thursday or Friday. One of those two, most likely it's going to be Thursday. It's going to be a full-blown breakdown of everything that we got for who exactly is going to win this affair. And the question on the docket today is, can, in fact, we see Crawford overcome the power of Canelo? I need to touch on this one more time because some stuff has started to eke into the mind, per se, of how I feel this fight's going to go in regards to Crawford's chances of actually winning. And, of course, we got some more stuff with Brian Ormer Jr. and Devin Haney. Their fight's happening on November 22nd. That we need to discuss, as well as some more stuff on that same card. Benavidez and others, all that. So it's going to be a great old time that we can discuss everything in the world of boxing. No question about it. But before we get into that, real quick, we need to do the intro the right way. So if you are here viewing the stream, hey, leave a like on the video. Hey, come on. Get the likes up on this stream. Go ahead and comment your thoughts and opinions in the chat down below so we can have your voice be heard and seen for the globe and the world to see right here on this channel. You say something, we can bring it up right here on YouTube and have your voice be heard and the conversation be added to by your opinions. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post right here on YouTube, and be sure to share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up, this empire together. Keep on thriving. Keep on making this thing do what it do. Keep on growing this conglomerate of a community that we have together. We can't do this without your support. And every time that you help spread the word about the show, it helps make the show bigger and better. So we appreciate it so much. And if you want to give to the show while we're getting the works for monetization, Cash App and PayPal on the screen. Links down below in the description. Anything will do to help make this show bigger and better and grander. And it's all with you and your support. We appreciate it so much. But again, with all that being said, we got a great show to do today. We got some time to take. We got some stuff to talk about. We got boxing to cover. Well, actually, before we even get to that, how was your Labor Day? I almost forgot. Hey, it was Labor Day. We got a chance to relax. We got a chance to get some ease, get some rest, get some time, and recuperate. At least most of us did. No, Lord knows I did. I was doing nothing involving the world of boxing yesterday because I worked myself to the bone and I was just trying to relax and recuperate. But hey, we're here now. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you had a bunch of fun. Hopefully you got the cookout and you got the grill, put some stuff on the grill and enjoy some time with friends and family on a national day off. But now we back to the grind, and now the grind leads to the biggest fight of the year, at least for this channel, at least. So now with all that being said, let's jump into the world of boxing. Let's jump into Crawford and Canelo, and let's step into the ring, shall we? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one of this show going underway as we have to discuss the world of Crawford and Canelo. We are 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away from what will be one of the most monumental fights that we have in the sport, not just in boxing today, but in the sports world as a whole. This has the potential to send ripple effects throughout the whole landscape of the sports fandom. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got their own the facts to bring to the table. Everybody's got their own viewpoint on how this fight's going to go. And it's getting really sketchy right now for a lot of people picking Crawford or Canelo, because every which way, all of a sudden, something comes to the table that causes the sway of investment to go from one point to the other. Now, majoritarily, yes, it has been on the side of Canelo. Excuse me. Anybody that's saying it's for Crawford, yeah, they truly believe it. But the majority of people are saying, most likely Crawford's going to win. And even one of the greats have recently came out and said who they feel is going to win this fight. As I can pull up the thing on Twitter. I got to find it real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute, so I can make sure I got the clip correct. Because if I do, y'all can see some true, y'all be able to see, some real stuff from a real one in terms of this particular legend at hand, talking about how he feels this fight is going to go. Where my bookmarks? Where's it? Hold on, we're pulling it up right now. We got everything loaded. It's just taking a little bit of time, taking a little bit of effort, taking a little bit of energy. Yeah, here it is, right here. Is this it? Yep, this is the clip. Yep, this is the clip. All right, here, let me pull it up on the old picture for the world to see. That ain't me. There we go. That ain't me either. Wait. Hold on. There we go. Now we're in lieu of one of the biggest one of the biggest legends in the history of sports fandom, and somebody who studied the art of war and understands the essence of violence itself in Mike Tyson. Here's his viewpoints on what this fight is going to be for Crawford versus Canelo.
I want Crawford to win, but it doesn't.
And you can't hear because the volume's there. Hold on a minute.
It's tricky. I want Crawford to win, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. You know, I would like for that to happen, but this guy's a hard puncher. He's a smart fighter. He can move. I'm just curious. I just want to see it. I want to be there and see it. Because listen, there's been upsets like that before. You know, Henry Armstrong, 124 pounds, he beat the 146-pound champ. So, you know, you never know. Anything can happen when two men are in a ring or in a basketball court. Anything can happen.
So yeah, now mind you, I was on the Shaq, I think it was Shaq's Big Pockets. I think that's what it's called. But regardless of which, as you can see, and I think I caught up the first half of the clip trying to get the sound right. But as you see, he says, "Hey, I want him to win, but I think Crawford's gonna win."
Crawford. It's tricky. I want Crawford to win, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. You know, I would like for that to happen, but this guy's a hard puncher. He's a smart fighter. He can move. I'm just curious.
That's the thing. And this is, when he brought up that, it kind of gave me a sense of, oh, maybe I need to look at this a little bit differently. Because, I've been on the fence with how this fight's going to go. Really saying, it to me, it's a closer than people expect type of fight affair, weaving with the advantages and strength that we all know the likes of Crawford has in this fight. Oh yes, indeed, he can definitely put the lights out from Terrence Crawford. Though we know Crawford got a chin, but at 168, it's a completely different world. And now, I not learned from that clip, learned from that interview. about Henry Armstrong. I knew that he went, and he was, again, if you follow Henry Armstrong, you know he's one of the greatest fighters that we've ever seen in boxing. So you're a true GOAT of GOATs in this game that we know and love. Somebody who has been on the not only has held multiple championships at the same time in multiple weight divisions, all when it was only one belt, and defending all of them, which is ridiculous. This is the brother who, again, I did not know fought and beat somebody at while he was at 126 up to 146. That's news to me. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. So I was like, wait a minute, that speaks to the greatness of who Armstrong is. Which, again, if you don't know this brother, look him up. If you need to know who a great fighter is and what the true essence of a warrior is, look up Henry Armstrong. That man is a dog amongst dogs in the world of boxing for all time. Doesn't matter whatever. But again, I digress. With that possibility being potentially viable today in Crawford versus Canelo, also that thing about you, I think that's what he said. Would I want Crawford to win? But I don't think it's going to happen. It's for some reason hearing it from Mike Tyson now that gives me a sense of maybe this needs to be looked at a little bit differently. Because let's put this into perspective of what the latter half of his statement. Upsets like this have happened before in boxing. They have. Now, we brought up also in the past, before Leonard fought against the likes of Hagler, he also fought against Lalonde, who was about, I believe, was 160. If I remember correctly, he was bigger than 160. I think it was 168. If I'll do a quick research to make sure I got that right. But I believe Lalonde was 168 when Sugar Ray came up to beat him before fighting the likes of Marvin Hagler. And with that fight, I think afterwards, and subsequently after going through later on in his career after he retired, he was saying, hey, these big boys, they hit you hard. They hit you hard. And even somebody as great as Sugar Ray Leonard knew the limitations of what he could do. Fighting at 160, again, fought Lalonde, who was the super middleweight champion at 165, or excuse me, weighed in at 165 on the night. Lalonde was 168 or 167 and was the reigning 168-pound champion. And the brother was 31-2. And the cat could crack. Cat could really crack. Though his talent wasn't better, the man could punch, and he knocked down Ray Leonard a couple times, I think, in that fight, before Ray Leonard ultimately was able to beat him and get him out of it. But that was ridiculous. That was insane. That was almost borderline stupid. Like, and excuse me, I had my timeline wrong. I had my timeline wrong. Excuse me. He fought Lalonde after fighting Marvin Hagler. My apologies. He fought Lalonde after fighting Marvin Hagler in what would be Marvin Hagler's last fight before ultimately retired. If I got that history correct, yes. So excuse me. He fought Lalonde after fighting Hagler. Beat at 160. Hagler, though I thought he lost. Moved up to 168. Beat Lalonde. And then went to war with Tommy Hearns again in their draw. Then fought Berto Duran for a third time. And then, lost to Terry Norris, lost to Hector Camacho. And then I'm calling it quits. It's time for me to go. That's how it happened. But still, the step too far is just, this is, I think I've been treating this fight as if it was Crawford moving up to 160. And that's just not how it is. It's 168, and boy, it is. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous now for Crawford. I can't lie. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous for the likes of me wanting to lean towards Crawford. Again, my pick for now is still Canelo is going to win this fight as of right now. But, brother, as much as I've said the ways and flows and the ebbs and flows of this fight going through my mind, it's really, the closer we get, I'm getting nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting nervous. And this, I'm really getting nervous for this fight, and I feel like I shouldn't. No, wrong button. That ain't what I'm trying to feel. This is how I feel. This is how I feel. Because, like, have we been just banking on, oh, the upset can happen just because we want to see the upset? Or do we actually believe it? That's what I've been starting to ask myself. Especially after hearing what Mike Tyson said, saying, hey, I want him to win, but feel like Canelo's going to win. I don't want this to be a fight off of just hope alone. But has this what we've been banking on this fight to be for the longest time? Potentially. And have I been lying to myself? I've been asking myself a whole bunch of questions because it's probably because it's near fight jitters. It's probably because all of a sudden we are right at the cusp of having these questions answered. So I'm just, I'm all in fit. I'm in a fit. I'm in a fit right now. But before I even continue with that, let me read what you all got in the chat down below. Hey, yo, Gremlin, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. We appreciate you coming in and joining us on the live. Let me see who else is. We got a lot of people coming today. Hey, yo, Bob, little Bob, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Shine your light onto the show. We appreciate you tuning in to the show today. We hopefully we're gonna have a great show. No, not hopefully. We're gonna have a great show today. We're gonna do a lot of energy. We're gonna make it do what it do. And we are going to have ourselves a time. And like I said, the question of the day: can Crawford really beat Canelo's power? Is this more than just a pipe dream that we can see the likes of Terrence Crawford go overcome the power and the size discrepancy that we see with the likes of Canelo Alvarez? Or is this just hopes and dreams that won't actually be achieved, and we'll see what would be expected as, yeah, the man was just too big, the man was just too strong, and the man just couldn't overcome it. I want to hear from you all. What's your thoughts on this fight? Because every time I go through it, now I'm starting to flip-flop, and it's getting frustrated. It's getting antsy. I'm getting agitated, and I hate it. I hate it, I tell you. Absolutely, I hate it. But again, we're going to keep on reading and see what you all got to say in the chat down below as we're still going through. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm still trying to catch everybody. Hold on, wait a minute. We loading up real quick. Okay, let's see. Al Booger. There we go. What's going on with you? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. We appreciate your time and effort joining in on the live with us. An exciting boy. I can't believe it. I had Canelo. Still got Canelo. As well. Okay, so we got people sticking to their picks. No last minute changes going through with anybody potentially saying, hey, you know what? I'm switching and I'm changing. I'm telling you what. I wouldn't be surprised. Some people are, but we got people sticking to the guns. No question about it. Let me see. El Sugar Nunez fighting this. Oh, he is fighting this weekend. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Nunez is fighting this weekend. Oh, I almost missed it. Shoot. I almost missed it. It's this weekend, leading into next weekend. It's gonna be nothing but a barber. It's gonna be number war galore for everybody that loves combat sport. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be phenomenal. We gonna be. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. People might be putting stuff out on the grill all for the next 2 weeks just to get in preparation for that fight and everything going on. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Talk. What's good with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So glad you're here with us on today. We appreciate your time and your effort. Hopefully you're going to enjoy the show. Hopefully you like what we got going on. And hey, hopefully you all keep on liking the stream. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Keep on liking the stream. Oh, doggone it. I know I almost forgot to do the plug. Keep on liking the stream. Hey, get the likes up on this thing to get the world knowing what we got going on right here on this show, because you can't get better than this, and I promise you ain't gonna miss what we got in store for this show. And if you haven't already, come on and subscribe. This is the hottest place to be for the hottest show in all the globe, right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Wink, wink, another shameless plug, but regardless of which, you can go listen to us anywhere, anytime. And what better place to listen to us than right here live on YouTube? So hey, get the likes up, share the show, keep on telling people about what we got going on, and it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait for this weekend. Is lit. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And oh, it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be. Let me see. Adam, I got Crawford. Well, hey, all right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And now this is where the dissension comes in the room. Because this is the question at hand. The biggest thing about Crawford, how likely is he able to make Canelo's strength obsolete in this fight? We've already talked about the IQ. And both of them, it is comparable. Whether you feel Crawford is more skilled than Canelo is perfectly fine. But it is comparable in IQ and in ring generalship because of how we've seen Canelo go from 154 to 175 and become a champion every step of the way. You don't do that by just being whatever. You got to be something serious to be able to achieve that goal. And so really it's the biggest X factor is going to be, well, how dominant can we see Canelo be to be able to control the wherewithal and essentially control where Crawford can go and what Crawford can do in this fight with his size and physicality. How viable will those power punches be to stifling and potentially stonewalling whatever Crawford wants to do, making this game plan unachievable just by the sheer fact of the threat level? It's just too high. We've seen him do that countless times before with just about every fighter that we see him in the ring with since he's moved up to 168. As again, he's relied less on the raw skill set that he showed at 160 in order to 154. And now it's relied on more so, I can take what you got, I can block whatever you give, and then boom, I can hook you to Kingdom Come and get you out of it. So that's what we're dealing with. That's with the question at hand. Let me see, Lil Bob, MJ versus Inoue will most likely be the best fight of that weekend. And you stole the words right out of my mouth. We were going to talk about this. We were going to talk about this fight Thursday or Friday, because we understood the landscape right now is really on Crawford and Canelo. And we trying to hit the iron while it's hot on whatever topic is abundant in the mind's eye of the boxing world to get these views up. But you get what I'm saying. But we were going to talk about it because that fight, boy, I'm telling you, the backdrop of that fight is insane. Because you have to understand, just as a quick side note, we're going to get in again. Adam, I see you. And Crawford's been prepared for this fight for years, been sparring heavyweights. And again, we're going to address all of that, absolutely. But just as a quick side note, going off a little Bob, brother, this fight, wasn't it, not even 6 months ago, 8 months ago? That people were saying that Inoue was ducking Akhmadaliev. If you know the word of 122, people were saying he was ducking Akhmadaliev, wasn't trying to fight Akhmadaliev. People were saying that Inoue was scared of Akhmadaliev, just like they were saying he was scared of Casemiro. For the longest time, ever since I've been coming up and doing videos on Inoue on this channel, talking about him, MJ and Casemiro have been the two people that people have been saying, you ducked. And now look at what's going on. He's fighting him right out the gate. Not wasting no time at all. This is going to shut up a lot of noise. And again, with Juto Nakatani officially at 122. As in, I believe I saw somewhere he's actively ranked now at 122. I believe it's either second or number one in the world under Inoue. We're going to have some answer questions. We're going to have some questions answered. And we're going to have, if he indeed does get past Akhmadaliev, which is not going to be an easy feat. Brother, next year, January, February, March, over in Japan, is going to be the biggest fight that we've seen probably in the division's history. And most likely for Japan, the biggest fight ever for that country. I promise you. It's going to be that big. And also don't forget, from a standpoint of comparison, brother, this could be their Hagler Hearns. This could be the Japanese world's Hagler Hearns, from the standpoint of two of the best we've ever seen coming up to fight each other as the pride of the country, and both of them individual. Oh, yeah. And this could lead to, don't let this be a draw. This could lead into a trilogy. One of the greatest trilogies we've ever seen, if that, in fact, does live up to the hype. So I'm excited for it, but from this week all the way into, November, it's going to be nothing but war after war after war after war. And I love it. I can't wait to see it, absolutely. But again, let me go back to Adam's point. And Let me say a little bit. He's the final boss. Yeah. You're doggone right he is. At this point in time, anyways, the final boss for the division. But let me see. Crawford's been prepared for a fight like this for years. Been sparring heavyweights. And I don't deny that he's been prepared mentally for this fight. For an abundance of years. He has wanted this spotlight for the longest time, ever since fighting Spence. He wanted Spence for the longest time as well. And the same thing of, hey, they're too big, too strong. He overcame Spence, overcame with the greatest of ease. Now, Canelo is better than Spence. Yes, he is. Completely different type of fight there's going to be, hypothetically. But the same obstacles are still in play. As the biggest reason why people are picking him to lose are the same reasons they picked him to lose against Spence. Since we've seen him overcome that obstacle before, we could see him overcome it again. But let me see what you all got to say. Robin Vasquez, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. I see Crawford chances getting better. So you're saying that they've improved as time has gone on in preparation for this fight. Now that's interesting. Now, would this be because of the boots? Canelo sparring pictures that have came out that have started to change your mind as to how you view this fight? Because again, as we showed, Crawford had some swelling Canelo had swelling under his eye. Whole half of his face had legitimate swelling going on with it. Welch was on his cheek as well. All from sparring with Boots Ennis. Some reports were saying that Canelo had stopped sparring with Boots after 3 rounds. Now, I don't believe that. I don't buy into that. I don't think that actually happened. But I do know that visually, we can infer that Boots gave Canelo some really good work as southpaw, being able to force him to, hey, it's going to be a dogfight. And like we said before, anybody that can give Boots or that can give an emulation of Crawford would be Boots. And if Boots is able to do that to Canelo in sparring, though it's sparring, gives some people some hope to say, hey, this is a different beast when it comes to Terrence Crawford. And he could genuinely give worse work than what we infer Boots gave. Let me see. That was cat. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then again, that's what I said. That's why I said, hey, I don't believe that. Again, the whole thing of stopping the fight, stopping sparring after 3 rounds, Boots dominated. Hey, just like I stated, I said some reports said that was the case. I said that wasn't true. I said I'm calling it cap. I don't believe that at all. Lord knows I don't believe that. I ain't never heard of Canelo stopping sparring. I ain't never heard Canelo stopping sparring. I ain't never heard of that. There's no point, and there would be no reason for that. If that was the case and that was real, if that was the case and that was real, that would spell doom and gloom for Canelo's chances. Because then it would be like, oh my gosh, if Boots was actually doing that much destructive work to you, then dang, yeah, you might not have a shot when you go up against the likes. When you go up against the likes of Crawford. And I just don't believe it. I mean, the only buddy that I've seen admit that, yeah, we stopped sparring was Timothy Bradley. When Timothy Bradley sparred against Terrence Crawford early into Terrence Crawford's career, and he got dog whooped. And his coach was like, yeah, no, you done. He whooping the mess out of him. And so stop the thing. That's the only thing. And we talked about that out of the words of Timothy Bradley's own mouth. So if it ain't that, I don't believe that. But let me see. I don't doubt that was good work. But yeah, stopping Canelo and sparring, nah. Yeah, nah. That definitely ain't. That you doggone right. You doggone right. We call a cap on that. That show enough ain't going down when in the realm of Canelo. That I promise you, that's not happening in the realm of Canelo. But the work, yes, I believe was good work. I believe it's opened up some holes. Now I also want to know if in fact those holes are going to be fixed by the time he fights Terrence Crawford. Because I can say that if Boots was able to do good work against Canelo, Crawford can do much better work, and we could see a better than low chance that Crawford could actually come out and, hey, maybe the whole aspect of, hey, being able to outbox Canelo, actually he's able to come to fruition. And he's actually able to, not saying he can't and won't stand and bang with him, because at some point in time, that will happen. That I promise you. Mark my words, that's going to happen. Mark my words, that's going to happen. At some point in time, Crawford's going to sit in the pocket with Canelo. Whether you think he should or should not, whether you think that's a good game plan or not, at some point in time, he's going to stand in the pocket. He's going to stand and bang. It's going to be straight up, hey, buddy, let's see what you got.
Hey, look at that.
We're going to be hearing that around the arena. At some point, it's going to happen. And when that happens, boy, it's either going to happen because of two things. Either out of desperation, and I can't outbox Canelo, and I got to brawl with him, and I got to just go and stand toe-to-toe with him, because I ain't got nothing else I can do against this level of power. Or, I got you, and I'm actually having success in this fight, and to push myself over the hump, implement that last game plan. It's time for me to work on the inside. I can handle what you can give out. And now, not out of desperation, but part of the formula to win. I'm going to show you I'm the bigger dog. And we're going to take this fight, go on the inside. Whatever the case may be, it's good. I can promise you it's guaranteed to happen. I can promise you it's guaranteed to happen. Let me see. Did you do a Bud versus Sugar Ray comparison lately? I did. I compared this, to mind you, I compared this fight to Bud versus, not Bud. I compared this fight to Hagler versus Leonard. When Hagler called out Leonard, when Leonard was at 135, and Leonard finally moved up to get to 160 to fight him. And then everybody was saying, oh, this fight can't happen. Hagler's going to be too big. A lot of similar stuff that we hear about Hearns, a lot of same stuff that we heard from Hagler versus Hearns. And Hagler being too big, too strong, especially after knocking out Mugabe, and being the destructive force that he was at middleweight, arguably the greatest middleweight we've ever seen. And now you coming up, even as great as Leonard is, beating Roberto Duran, going to toe-to-toe with him for 15 rounds, then going and beating him and boxing him outright in the second fight, the No Mas fight, going through and dominating leagues of other people, moving up to 154 and winning, then finally coming up to 160. It was still the same rhetoric of, hey, brother, this is a step too far. And we saw it turn into one of the greatest fights we've ever seen. So, hey, same comparison, similar types of predictions, similar level of, hey, is this a step too far and is this but it's too big for you to be able to succeed with? And he was able to do it. Now, because I've called Terrence Crawford the fifth king, that if you dropped him in that four kings era, he would belong perfectly. This would be a situation where, hey, because he fits that mold, he has the capability to do the same stuff that we saw them do. He does. And he's actually walking it out. And so this would be one of the craziest things we've ever seen. But it's something that, again, is ridiculous. But not impossible. Though it seems insurmountable. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Let me see. Sack, what's going on with you? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Let me see what you got to say on there. If you have to say it's going the distance or by knockout, I'm saying it's going the distance. For my pick, I'm saying it's going the distance for now. Like I said, I'm doing my final prediction, my full-blown fight breakdown on this week. Either going to be Thursday or Friday. So we're doing a full-blown breakdown once that happens this week, as in start to finish. I'm giving you both sides of the coin in as deep perspective as I can. Probably won't even be reading chats because we're going to do what we used to do back in the day before we went live. Just straight up, hey, y'all listen, y'all let me go through, and then after I finish, we have the runaround on whatever y'all want to pick apart. Because I know y'all will pick it apart, but I ain't got no issue with it. But just to get my full, concise, full prediction of how this fight is going to go, how each person can win, who's going to win ultimately, and the ramifications for each if they win and if they lose. We're going to break all that down this week. It's happening. It's coming down the pipe. Get ready, get excited, because I can't wait for it. I can't wait to do that. But right now, I have it by decision as how the fight will end. If it does end by knockout, we could most likely infer, okay, it would be Canelo. There's an underrated feeling, though, that it could be Terrence Crawford. Underrated. But again, when it comes to the bigger the odds, seemingly the more, the better he becomes as a fighter. We could see it's a low chance, but it's a chance. We could see Crawford stop Canelo, but most likely decision on either end of the spectrum as to who would win. But let me see. If Bud wins, does that put him on par with Sugar Ray? Oh, okay, that's what you mean. Shoot. Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, shoot, that's a good, golly, that's a good question. Yeah. That's a good question. So, I've said this. Let me readjust my seat. I've said this. If Canelo loses to Crawford, it would be insane. It would be ridiculous. If Canelo got knocked out by Terrence Crawford, that would add to a level of improbability that would legitimately stand alone as one of the 5 greatest wins we've ever seen. Most likely, in most people's eyes. One of the 5 greatest, because you gotta understand, even with this fight, we just talked about Leonard beating Lalonde, who was super middleweight champ at 168 after beating Hagler. And in that fight, that was incredibly improbable, or it was incredibly difficult. But again, he beat him. It was insane. But Lalonde, imagine that would be the equivalent of flipping the two. If Lalonde was at 160 and Hagler was at 168, and Leonard beat Hagler at 168. You know how much that would add to that win, which is already touted as one of the greatest wins in boxing? That's what we're dealing with. This fight is Terrence Crawford's Hagler. But the difference is it's at a bigger weight. It's at 168. It's at the prime of Canelo's tail end prime, but prime of Canelo's career at 168. But man, shoot. That's a hard question. That's a really hard question. Because, no, I'm going to keep to what I said. I said that this fight, if he wins, would shake up the landscape of boxing as a whole. I said it. I said if we see Crawford truly win this fight, and it's not and if it's not a robbery situation, genuine, or if it's like a yeah, he deserved it and he got it. Brother, this would be a win that would shake up the pound for pound all-time rankings. He would be, in most people's eyes, top 10 ever. Most people, he's top 10 in the history of this sport. He does this with all he's already accomplished. For some people, he's top 5, top 3. I think I said top 10, somebody's getting bounced. If, in fact, he gets that threshold. That still is true. For me right now, that's still true. If Crawford wins this, he's top 10, one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen. Somebody's getting bounced out, and Crawford's getting pushed in. Where I would have him ranked in that top 10, I got to look and see. Because, again, you're talking about people like Henry Armstrong, Edric Charles, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis. You going with, again, some of the greatest of greats, Manny Pacquiao. Just naming a few that would fall into my top 10. But he would fit that bill. With this win, would fit that bill. Would he be better than Leonard? I'd have to say no. Shoot. Yeah, I think I would still have Leonard above him. But it would close the gap. I'd say that. It closed it would close the gap. It would definitely close. Because you have to understand that it's a hard question because part of this shakeup of who's better than who's greater than who, is the fact that the talent that Leonard faced was indeed steeper and deeper than the talent that we saw the likes of Terrence Crawford faced throughout his entire career. Like I said, Terrence, again, the 4 kings of boxing, Terrence hasn't had a gauntlet of, you are a part of the 3 greatest, not just of that era, but that we've seen in history, all at the same time coming up, and you fought all of them. And you had to go through all of them, and you did. And you rematched nearly all of them except for Hagler. And so, that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing to not take into account. And this is why it will be hard. It will be really hard. But this win, coupled with, again, the domination of what this era is that he's accomplished, the names on his resume that, again, do not let people downplay them. They are good. This, with the Spence win, was the crescendo validating what his career had been. A Canelo win would elevate this resume to kingdom come to an insane degree. And it'll be, man, it'll be difficult. I'd have to think. I'd really have to think. But he would, for sure, where he would rank, you know what? I would most likely be able to say who, in fact, he's knocking out after the fight. Because I'm not trying to count my ducks yet before they hatch. Excuse me, it's chickens before they hatch. I'm not trying to count my things yet before they happen. But after the fight, I'll most likely be able to say whether or not, okay, yeah, he's greater than Sugar Ray Leonard or not. I'll most likely be able to. Right now, I'm going to say no. But if we see another Spence performance, I'm going to say that. If we see another Spence performance against Canelo, Hey, 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 hey now.
Hey, look at
Look,
that.
that'll change some stuff. I'm not gonna lie. That'll change some stuff. That will definitely change it. Let me see. If, like, thought you had already clicked on this chat. But, yeah, man, it's that. Ooh. It would be, let me see. I still think I gotta go Sugar Ray Leonard, but yeah, it's tough. Bud is really one, like, you gotta understand, this man is 41-0 with an incredibly high knockout ratio, with legitimate talent all throughout his time. And like, but if he goes like this and he beats Crawford in the process, that's a big step in that direction. That's a big step in the direction. Let me see. Ryan Grace, what's up with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're here with us on today. And so I'm happy that you're here. But keep on liking the stream. And hey, keep on sharing the show. Again, you may not agree, but we just having some great talk, and I want to hear what you all got to say. Absolutely. Let me see. I'll book a woke top 10. Well, I have a very hard time sliding button to 10. I got to think about that one. Again, you have to recognize that this would be something that was so improbable that, again, we've never seen this before. We've never seen somebody in straight up one fight, unless I'm wrong. I don't think I've ever seen somebody in one fight go and fight without a tune-up, without anything else, the best 168-pounder, pound-for-pound type fighter, and beat him. I don't think I have. Like normally it's at least, okay, you got an acclimate. This is just straight up raw dog and you, boom, you jumping. We here. Let's go. With the risk being insane. With Crawford being older than Canelo. Don't forget that. We talk about all this stuff in the world of boxing with age being a factor, but Crawford is older than Canelo. Crawford is older than Canelo. Canelo, from an age perspective, is closer to his prime than Terrence Crawford from the ravages of what time can do to the body. He is younger than Terrence Crawford. And he's going up against Crawford, and if Crawford is able to, as the older fighter, also beat him on top of all the other building, on top of all the other obstacles that he's got to overcome, like with the size, like with the respect, like with the on the level IQ, like with the durability, and all that. Like it'll be tough for me not to put him in top 10. He would be top 10 in my eyes. One of the greatest I've ever seen. I would have to give it to him. Let me see. Ryan Graves. Bud is not greater than Leonard. But he is better in my view. Ooh. So you think Bud's a better fighter than Sugar Ray Leonard. But Leonard is a greater fighter than Bud. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Shoot. That is, ooh. I see where you're coming from. The talent of Sugar Ray Leonard, again, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't think I've seen anybody really be able to be compared to what Sugar Ray Leonard brought to the table from a fight-to-fight type standpoint. Yeah, sure, they've had speed, but the entire package, no. I haven't seen anybody be compared or even seen somebody have that in them. It's been very few. It's been very few. Again, it's like, that's a tough one. I see where you're coming from, though. Is he? Shoot. Is he better than Sugar Ray Leonard as a fighter, though he's not greater? I gotta go back and watch the film. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta go back and watch the film. I gotta go back. I'm gonna give it a buck. I gotta go back and watch the film because I need to refamiliarize myself with the talent level of Sugar Ray Leonard because this man's hand speed, angles, and he has some legitimate pop to him. And just like Crawford had that dog mentality of he can smile all he wants to. He can be the pretty face that runs the place in the landscape of boxing like he was in his prime, out of the Olympics and otherwise. But when he was trying to, like he was throwing off on reporters who were just having a friendly spar, all because he had that switch that also flipped when, you know, the seeing red, he goes into a new mode. He had that. And he showed it against some of the best we've ever seen. So yeah, I can't say that, like I said, after this fight with Canelo, I'm going to be able to answer some of these questions a lot more fervently. I'm going to be able to answer some of these questions more concretely. Whether or not he's a better fighter and a greater fighter than some of the greats that we've seen right now. Again, who's he bouncing out of that top 10? Who knows? Is he above or below Leonard? This fight is going to determine it. This fight, if he does stuff like this, yeah, I would have no problem. What the word is it? Okay, never mind. Yeah, I would have no problem at all saying anything based on this production. We're gonna have to wait and see. I can't rock with this yet. That he's a better fighter than Leonard, though it is close and comparable. Like I said, his talent is on par with the four kings in boxing. I've said that countless times. He would be a fifth king. He's that good. But who he's better than, and as a talent, not from a greatness perspective, as a talent, I got to think about. And it'll possibly be answered after this. Let me see. And Billy versus Martinez, who you got? I got him in Billy. I got him Billy by knockout. And Billy has been, he has really done some, I've loved what I've seen from him. And I'm excited to see him. I can't wait to see him back in the ring against Martinez. And I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win and push himself into, hey, I'd give me a shot at Canelo. I deserve my time against Canelo. And if we don't get the fight with Shiraz versus Canelo, I wouldn't be mad at seeing Shiraz versus Billy. Winner is a true number one contender. And then that fighter, they fight the likes of Canelo for the titles. If in fact it is Canelo who comes out with this win and is still reigning as champion. But I got him Billy winning that fight against the two. Let me see, they're both gonna be throwing bombs. I have him Billy, though he's much more of a natural and athletic guy. He is. He absolutely is. He's underratedly. He's a lot more technically sound than I thought. Than I last remember him watching. Going back and watching the film. So no, he's that brother, and he is built like a brick house. This man is built with nothing but power. But he moves with such, he's big, like he looks big, like brolic, but he moves so fluid as well. And this is one of the few situations where the muscles don't compromise the athletic ability, which I'm so glad. I'm so glad that that's the case. And so I'm leaning, I got in Billy winning that fight. Let me see, you got Martinez by decision. Hey, I respect it. We could see an upset take place, but I truly believe we're gonna see the likes of Billy take this win. I got it by knockout, probably in 7. I got it by knockout in round 7. It could go longer, but if I'm picking this fight, yeah, I got him Billy by knockout. I definitely. Let me see, I'm with you on that. We're gonna have to look at a little bit closer if we smash Canelo. Yep. See, this fight right now is really predicated on this win. It's going to shift a lot of perspectives, and justifiably so. because of how insurmountable this is. That's the truth. We're dealing with somebody who is right now top 3 Mexican boxers in history, in Canelo Alvarez. The greatest of this era right now, in all of divisions, is Canelo. And somebody who is one of the greatest, probably top 30 fighters we've ever seen in boxing. He's probably of that caliber. You know, top 30, top 50 at minimum. Like he fits that bill. For somebody like Crawford to go and beat that, not at the same weight, but coming up for 135, yeah, nah, that would be something insurmountable. That would be something. See, top 10 what? Top 10 pound for pound all time. For my list, he there. For my list, he there. He does this with all the other stuff I see him do. Yeah, he would be there for me. Again, you may not agree, but more than just Nebraska athletes, we talking history of this sport. For what I've seen, like this would be, again, if you don't agree, that's fine. But it'll be something crazy. It'll be something ridiculous. Let's see, if Bud does what I think he might do to Canelo, he might as well keep himself at 168 and fight one of the Charlos after and retire. And I think we touched on this earlier. Bud thinks he can beat Canelo, but he doesn't think he can beat everybody else in the division. Like Leonard fighting Lalonde. He beat Lalonde at 168 after beating Hagler. Then guess what? Afterwards, he moved his butt back down to 160, and he said these boys hit you hard. He said he said like verbatim. He said these cats, they hit you hard. There's no way. No, I can't stay up here. That is too much on my docket. That's too much on my plate for me to consistently be able to compete against. That is insane. His words, not mine. Paraphrasing, but his words, not mine. That's ridiculous. And he moved back down to 160. And he rematched Hearns and did his thing after that, and then retired after losing against, I think, Camacho. But, yeah, like, I'm telling you, 168, there is almost, unless he feels insanely comfortable. I'm talking unless he feels like, oh my gosh, when I get there, and if I do dominate definitively, okay, and I feel this good with no restrictions on my body to really, I can, to quote Superman from the Justice League, hey, it's a rare opportunity for me to cut loose. And I'm feeling like I'm feeling now. He could, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to move back down to 154 like he said he wants to do and try to go after Undisputed there. Fight Charlo, now that Charlo's back there at 154. Fight Boachuk, Virgil Ortiz, Sebastian Fundora, Boots Ennis. Don't tell me y'all don't want to see Boots fight against Terrence Crawford. And look to reign and retain. And then afterwards, after he becomes a potential 4-time undisputed champion, like he had on the back of his shirt in training camp, which is his goal, okay, now I wrap it up. Or if I fail and I can't do it, all right, yeah, I did everything I could. It's time for me to go. But I don't know if he's going to stay up at 168. I think, I truly believe he's going to move back down. I truly believe he's unless he just feels like, hey, I'm the best I've ever been, and this ain't nothing but a cakewalk. He's almost assuredly moving back down to 154 to fight the other Charlo, the one who he was talking smack to when he beat Spence. Get him out of there. Get Thurman out of there, and then go and fight the champs at 154 and look to rank, and then call it quits. That's what I think. And hey, full disclaimer, brother, if this goes far enough, he could try to beat Floyd Mayweather's record. Don't forget, brother, he's only 9 wins away. He is 9 wins away from beating Floyd Mayweather's record. No, is it not? No, I'm sorry, tying. It's 9 wins from tying this record. 10 wins from beating it. If that happened, like you can't tell me that he's also not looking at that as a potential opportunity to, hey, I'll tell you what. If look, hey, look, right? I see it. I know. It sounds improbable, but we have to look at this from a wide, sweeping approach. We gotta look at this from a wide lens. We gotta look at this.
We got some problems.
We gotta look at this from a wide lens now. We have to. We gotta look at this from a wide lens. We understand Crawford is trying to really do some stupid stuff from a sense of greatness, which is phenomenal. You can't tell me, understanding history, which is how smart and how genuinely forward-thinking we've seen Crawford. He's an incredibly intelligent guy. You can't tell me that he doesn't see that as on the horizon. It's been swept under the rug. The cat's 40-0. Or excuse me, 41-0. He's 41-0 with 30-plus KOs in his career. Every win that he's had has been definitive by the end of the fight. And it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon if, in fact, he does beat the likes of Canelo. If he gets this win and he goes through the ringer of 154, you couldn't tell me he couldn't do it? Because think about it. He could just start from the, if he wanted to, he could start from the bottom up. Because at that point, if he beats Canelo, every fight with him is a mega fight. Him versus Thurman, who talked a bunch of smack, who used to be at 147, that would be a good fight that people want to see. That people would want to see that fight. That's 42 wins. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. He beats Canelo, that's 42. He beats Thurman, 43, in a big fight that would have a storyline. He beats Charlo, 44. Big fight that has had over 3 years of beef. He goes through and takes the title from Fundora. That's 45. Boom. You're 5 wins away from tie. Then you go through and you defend it 3 times. You beat Virgil Ortiz, 46. You beat Bochuk, 47. You rematch one of the top contenders and you beat him, 48. Wait a minute now. Hold on a second. Next thing you know, he fights Boots and any combination of a competitive opponent. That's 50. And we've been saying, hey, it's possible. Whether we want to say it's going to happen or not, it's a possibility. And it's a road. He's gonna be 50 by the time he fights off. And not unless, and this is most likely unlikely, but not unless he pulls. See, I'm laughing saying this because this is almost impossible. But unless he fights and does what Ali did in lieu of his second fight with Frazier, which was fight 9 times in a year, most likely that's not going to happen. But if he did, hypothetically, hey, if he did go through and do the Ali route, fight 9 times in a year at 154, it's possible. It's possible. Hey, yeah, Buddy's retired. You got. But look, hold on. No, wait a minute. Haven't we not been frustrated with only seeing fighters once or twice a year? Don't we want them to go and take advantage of fighting more often and in a more consistent nature? With no more ring rust because you're always in the ring. Haven't we said we wanted that? If there was anybody that loves to fight, loves to gym, and could take on that mantle, hey, it would be Crawford. Though it's incredibly unlikely. But let's say he just ramps. Let's say he just ramps up his career? Because if he really feels, because again, this is this thought process of, hey, he might go after 50. This thought process is only because of the potential that he dominates Canelo like he dominated Spence, which is very low. It's incredibly low that happens, even in a win. It's incredibly low that takes place. I am not saying that this is going to happen. I am saying in the best case scenario, if we see him handle Canelo, which would be insane, in the same way as Spence, and all of a sudden he feels, wait a minute, I can really take on the world. You couldn't tell me that streak, he wouldn't have that in his mind that, hey, if I go about it the right way, I can break it. I can do it. I can definitely do it. 4 fights at 154. That would take him to 46 wins. Become undisputed and in rank. 4 more defenses. That's 50. Against whoever. That's 50. And then, who you want your last fight? Would be insane if his last fight was Boots. In this dream scenario of finally we get the dream match that we've been waiting on. And he beats him, hypothetically. All right, 51. You broke Floyd's undefeated record. Only person to beat Rocky, the only other person to beat Rocky Marciano's record. And now walks into the sunset. Boom. All of a sudden, Floyd gets knocked down a whole bunch. We might just see Floyd come back just to get that record back. Who knows? But regardless of which, again, it's a dream scenario. It's a hypothetical. It's a big hypothetical. But it is one that needs to be at least talked about because it's a possibility that frame of thinking is the way that Crawford may see this thing going. Because we've seen, again, Lara's 42. Archie Beterbiev is 41. And they still reigning and dominating. And most people we picking that go against them, we picking Lara and or Beterbiev. Unless you like that. So I wouldn't be mad if he said, hey, until the wheels fall off, if I can go and attempt it after Canelo, if I win, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually went for it. I would not be surprised in the slightest if he actually went for it. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say because I want to make sure I don't miss nobody. Let me see GQ. Hey, brother, GQ127, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Abdullah Mace reminds me of Sugar Ray Leonard. Does he? I don't know. I never saw it. I never saw that stylistic comparison. Leonard was leagues faster. Leonard was, again, not saying Abdullah Mason doesn't have a great chin, but Leonard had a tested chin. Leonard could also turn into a madman. I'm not saying Abdullah can't, but he hasn't shown to that degree yet. I gotta wait. I don't see that yet. He's still a great talent. I see Abdullah as we say Tank is a counterpuncher. More than he's not a power puncher as his best weapon. He's a counterpuncher. I see Abdullah as more of a bigger, from a height perspective, a bigger, more aggressive version of a Tank Davis. With how he goes about fighting, which he still looks for counters all the time, but he's trying to walk you down from round 1 and really put a hurt on you. While still dissecting, okay, what is it that you do so I can take advantage and make the perfect thing to go and take you out. But he's doing it more so walking forward, staying in the pocket, not so much watching, but more so forcing reactions and then making something afterwards. That's what I would say. But he's still a dog. I don't see the Leonard comparison. I don't think he's I don't compare him to that. But he's one of the ones. He's a bad brother. He's a bad cat, man. I'm telling you. Listen, he is not better than Leonard, neither as a fighter or from a stature standpoint. Yeah, I can agree with that. Let me see. Olympian, 140 division champ, 147 to 168. Yep. I completely agree. Let me see. Mark T. What's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. What you got to say? In a prime versus prime fantasy fight, I'd slightly favor Leonard over Crawford. Yeah, I would too. I definitely would too. I definitely would too. But hey, that switch hitter, again, that switch hitting style, just like with Hagler, gave him or can be a very much detrimental thing. But I'm still leaning towards Leonard. I'm still leaning towards Leonard over Crawford in that fight. But it's not as far off as it used to be. But let me keep on reading. But that would be a phenomenal fight. That would be an incredible fight to see. Absolutely phenomenal. Let me keep on reading. So I gotta make sure I'm going through. Charles never fight Bud. Unfortunately, I hope they do. They need to. There is too much animosity that would sell to not make that fight happen. And you got to do something, especially Jermell Charlo. But you got to strike while the iron is hot right now because your stock is already in the dirt. You can't be not going for everything anymore. And you also called out Crawford. You did, with smoking on that Omaha pack. Smoking on the Bud pack. With you as the Lion on social media, on Twitter. So, hey, you called him out. Don't back out now. That fight actually comes to a potential fruition. Let me see. I don't agree with anyone moving down in weight. That's how you lose your chin. And again, I don't as well. The issue is how you do it. Roy Jones did it too quickly, as with other people. Hence why instead of just cutting weight, he cut muscle to get back down to 175. If he had stayed out in the ring for longer and properly went and didn't rush the thing, he potentially could have done it. Hearns was able to move down, up and down the weight with the greatest of ease. No issue at all. Go 175, 160, 154, 160 again. He could fluctuate. Because he talked about it. I think him or his trainer talked about how he was able to do it. And how it was, for him, it was just diet. But his body could handle it. Crawford's body could handle it. And if he does it the right way, it helps minimize the risk. I'm not saying it is not a risk, but it is something that everything can be done if you do it the proper way. And you don't go too quickly into molding yourself into something new. If you do that, that's when the stuff takes place. Like what we're having to Roy Jones Jr. But Bud's body could be different, and the way he does it could be, okay, it works. Like with Tommy Hearns. But again, who knows? We got to wait and see. But here's a way that he can lose your chin. No question. Let me see. Kingdom Boxing, how you doing? Hey, Kingdom, good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Leave a like on the stream if you're here. If you're here, please go ahead. Leave a like on the stream. I want to hear what you all got to say. And we want to get the stream out to the masses. Absolutely. Let me see. Glad to be here. We in the championship rounds. Not yet. Right now, we're covering Crawford versus Canelo. We're going to get into the championship rounds in a little bit. Just stay right here. But I still want to hear your opinions on everything we have in the boxing world and beyond. Also, because in championship rounds, we can talk about football as well. As the season's starting this week, the NFL's back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get excited for it. I can't wait to see it. And so, but we can address that later on. Let me see. Does Bud also get to fight the likes of Berto and McGregor and get his 50? I don't want him to do that. Lord knows I don't. I don't want that to happen. It would be insane if he fought Floyd at 154 to get that 51st win and to break the record and to give him his first loss. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be poetic justice? Wouldn't that be just ridiculous? Wouldn't that be just insane? If that's what happened. Let me see. If Bud gets to 45-0, he should fight 6 cans and then wrap it up. And he could. Knowing Bud, he'll probably keep on taking tests, like real tests. Because if he got to 50-0 the real way, but for his legacy, forget top 10, but he might be the same way people are saying Floyd is the greatest to ever do it. TBT, the best. TBE, the best ever. Hey, we can start seeing that same rhetoric on the side of Crawford. Now, would that be true? No. But would he be one of the ones? Yes. And that same level of reverence that everybody has for Floyd, from the sense of, oh my God, this brother's insurmountable. All the stats that they put out, all the accomplishments that they throw to demean other fighters, to prop up Floyd, if Crawford did that same thing, but did it in a way that he was fighting big hitter after big hitter after big hitter after big hitter, he could get that same level of love, that same famous, not infamous, famous, and pantheon level status. It could happen. It could definitely happen. You see, Ryan Graves, Abdullah is it. Abdullah is it yet to me. You saying he has it, or he hasn't shown that it factor yet? Whatever the case, I think he's got that it factor. But again, we need to see him against bigger people. Understandable. Sam Noakes, we're gonna see what happens there. We're gonna see what happens with Sam Noakes, how he takes on that test, and afterwards, then boom. Now full-fledged. Let's see what you got against the elite. We're gonna see. Let me see. MS, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're here with us on today. Let me see. What Luke? What you make of Top Rank signing and partnering with the Zone? I guess now we really have to subscribe to. Yeah, we do. That did happen, and it's again, real quick. We probably touch on this more with the championship rounds, but with this, like we said before, no American platform has any boxing on it. It's officially gone, which is a shame. Boxing and Top Rank also killed its foothold in the States because of dragging its feet for so long that the return just was, they said, it's not worth it. Even as the uptick started coming in, it was too little too late. You'll have to sign to the Zone. Promoters are forced now to have to work with each other, either because of Turkey Al Sheikh or because of the fact that, hey, if we don't do something, we ain't gonna have somebody to show our stuff on them. It's a problem they created. It's a problem that Turkey is quickly trying to fix. But it's a problem that didn't need Turkey if the promoters just did what they were supposed to do. Not get so greedy, not get so hungry, and not get so protective of their fighters, and just make the fights. And then boom, everybody would be able to do what they wanted to do. And everybody could thrive. And we still have boxing in America today for the public to see. But now, yeah, it's not. I think I said this in the past, but it's a common phrase I use. By choice or by force, you're going to have to work together. Whether by choice or by force, you're going to have to work together at some point in time. Now it's by force that you got to work together with your biggest competitors because y'all drug your feet and y'all wasted time. Now, the Zone's the biggest conglomerate in boxing right now from the standpoint of subscriptions and from a fight hub, a fight home. Only other one would be right now Riyadh Season. But even though most of those fights are on the Zone. So, because you dragged your feet and you waited around, now if you don't work with them, nobody else is going to want to work with Top Rank. Or you won't make nearly as much money with whoever else you might want to work with. So, your Bob Arum forced you. And he dug his own grave in that regard. So did Quisenberry. So did Eddie Hearn. Though Eddie Hearn did the Zone. But even the Zone had to work with the likes of Riyadh Season. Because they also helped with this whole situation of killing the sport and killing their own foothold. Now, if you ain't working with Turkey, guess what? You are out the game from the standpoint of pushing yourself to be a big-time deal. Fighter and promoter alike. They did this to themselves. And now they have to huddle together to survive rather than just working together to thrive. You see which one's better? And you see what greed does to people? You see what greed does to promotions? You see what greed does that everybody hurts now? Because now there's no public avenue for the wide array of fans to get involved with the sport. It's a problem. It's a problem. NFL's doing the same thing, stretching themselves too thin, trying to go through and hit every conglomerate. Now they, instead of just making it accessible by working with people that would have made it economical and accessible. Now there's complaints that, hey, we're struggling to watch the games. NBA, you gotta do Peacock, NBC, ESPN, ABC, and I think Amazon to watch their games. That's a problem. You're stretching them too thin. And again, the consumer's hurting. Potentially could hurt the sport. And all in all, everybody messes up. Everybody gets the brunt of it in the worst way. So they brought it on themselves. I can't feel bad because they brought it on themselves. And now they need to work together, or Top Rank needs the zone to survive. Instead of doing what they should have done, which is building up a piece of pie on your own by giving fans what they wanted. Then you could have stood on your own 2 feet. And you wouldn't have to worry about not having anybody to stream your stuff, to put on your stuff. And we could still have boxing in America on television. But they did it to themselves. It's a shame. It's a doggone shame. Let me see. I did a comparison last week. Roy lost so much muscle tone when he went back down for Tarver. Way slower. Yep, no snap. Yep, I told you. Once he finished off at this is why I say that fight at 168, he would beat Canelo. Roy would beat Canelo. What would beat most people that we have if he fought against him going up in weight? Because what he was before going back down was completely different. Roy Jones Jr. would have never lost to Joe Calzaghe if he had fought him pre going back down to 175. He would never lost him. He would have never lost to Bernard Hopkins if he had fought him again pre going back down to 175. Any fighter that he lost to before the normal, the natural vestiges of time might have taken hold, he would have beat all of them if he had fought them all again or for the first time pre moving back down, because he was a completely different fighter. Reaction time, power, snap, speed, footwork, all of that was completely different. Completely different. Because it was not the same Roy. Not in the slightest. Just like with Mike Tyson. Once he got out of his prime, you saw with Don King making them change teams and all that stuff, putting his own entourage with them, going through and the money and stuff and jail time and all. He was never the same guy. He was never the same brother. You could visibly see he was a completely different fighter than what he was when he was truly at the heights of his career in the late 80s to early 90s, when he was truly, that was his prime. That was no longer the same. When Lance Lewis beat him, brother, that was a completely different fighter. Completely different fighter. Completely different. Because that wasn't them at their best. Roy at his best, yeah, something serious. Let me see. I can see some Ray and Abdullah from a vicious finishing and punching in between punches standpoint. See, I don't see it. I'm seeing more so an aggressive Tank Davis because he's defensively sound, and you see the wheels turning of him making a game plan to get you out of there and finding the minute holes in your game. But at the same time, he's aggressive with it from round one instead of sitting back with it from round one. That's I see that. But I'll go back and watch it. I'll go back and compare the finishing and the being able to catch you in between when you're throwing. I'll go back and compare. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. And y'all are seeing something I'm not. Now I just got to go back and watch the film. I ain't got no issue with that. But I see more of a bigger, aggressive Tank than the likes of a Sugar Ray Leonard. But I have no issue going back and checking and seeing. Because if that is true, then hey, that's horrifying. That's terrible. Iglesias fights into don't forget that. Yeah, I almost forgot. You talking right, I almost forgot. He is fighting in 2 days. We do need to make sure. I need to make sure I keep up with that fight because I do want to see this man live, and really get a good sense at this point in time of what he is as a fighter, because he is dangerous and he is great. But I think this would be the outside of highlights and film. This will be the first time watching him live that I've gotten to see what this cat can do. Kind of like instead of watching it back, knowing the result, and then going through and watching it. Okay, how did he go and accomplish this? This will be that brings a new experience, makes you view the fight a little bit differently, at least when I watch it. So I want to see it. I definitely want to see it. So I'm excited for it. We need to make sure we see that fight. All these promoters made their bets, and yeah, they did. They made their coffins. They made their own tombstones. And now they are struggling to get out of it. Because, and again, I know we in fact, you know what? In fact, we can go to the championship rounds right now. This would be a great point to discuss it. We're going to jump into the championship rounds early. We're going to jump into them early in this show. We're going to jump into them early. Because we promoters and stuff, it's a great talking point. Absolutely. As well as, again, we can still talk about Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. We're still going to talk about that fight, absolutely. We're just going to talk about it in the realm of the championship rounds. But, again, we are in the championship rounds right now. So whatever you want to discuss and talk about, hey, make the show your own. Let's get it on and popping. It's time to work. It's time to shine. It's time to make the show sublime. All with you and your support, getting in and saying whatever you want to talk about in the realm of movies, television, video games, sports, basketball, boxing, football, anything under the sun. We can discuss it right here, right now. And so, and I see y'all commenting right now. We're going to touch on it. With Devin's losing, we're going to touch on it. I'm going to bring up something I wanted to talk about with this show. But real quick, let me answer this with Al Booga. These promoters, once Turkey does leave, if he does, and I'll say if, there's no guarantee, but once he's out of here, once he's gone, the question then becomes, can you keep that same stable of great fights that we've now gotten accustomed to, with Turkey all of a sudden giving us undisputed fight after undisputed fight after big fight after big fight, Usyk Fury, championships galore, Haney versus Norman, we got Shakur versus Zepeda, we're Benavidez versus Yard, Artur Beterbiev, Bam Rodriguez, all on the same card at the same time on the same day. Once he leaves, are you going to keep that same consistency, understanding that's what the people want? Or are you going to go through and keep on doing the same stuff? Because if that happens, and hypothetically Turkey doesn't stay around in boxing, I'm scared for where this sport's going to be. Not because Turkey's a saving grace, but because he set a new example of, hey, people are actually talking about the sport on a wide scale outside of hardcore fans or one or two people. I can walk down the street and actually people are starting to get more attuned to who's fighting who. We got people planning cookouts around fights now more than ever because they're starting to get accustomed to, hey, we got some big stuff going on. Once he leaves, will that same thing go through with promoters keeping that same energy on their own front, or is it going to be back to business as usual? And if that happens, well, this sport's going to die. It's going to die. It's going to die, Seth. I hate it, but it's going to die. I can't stand it. But let me keep on reading. Again, we're in the championship rounds. Whatever you want to talk about, we can discuss right here, right now, for the show, for you all to have your day. So again, leave a like on the stream. Let's see what you got. Keep on commenting. If you want to support the show, Cash App and PayPal, links down below in the description. If you can, anything will do. We appreciate it oh so much. And let's jump into the world of the championship rounds. What y'all got to say on the day? Devin Haney's losing. Well, I agree as well. No question about that. But the question is, well, more so. In fact, actually, that reminds me, I need to pull up what I had about this fight with the likes of Devin Haney. And this is Bruce Carrington saying, giving his 2 cents on the matter of Crawford. Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. Let me make sure the volume is right.
I think, my opinion, truly, and this is no disrespect to Brian Norman, the winner of the fight all depends on how Devin Haney approaches the fight. I feel if Devin Haney sits there a little too long, he'll get clipped with something. If he exchanges, he'll get clipped with something. But if he moves in his feet, something around like what he did in his last fight, but not as much, obviously. Nobody wants to really, I don't think he needs to do that. But if he's on his feet being smart, I think that is the approach that he needs to take to fight Brian Norman. And if Devin Haney fights like that, then I think Devin Haney will win the fight. I think, my opinion, truly.
So again, he's saying he needs to move around and not to the severity of what we saw with Jose Ramirez, but moving around, boxing smart. As again, I don't want to call it a cliche phrase, but it is the truth. That's the key to victory. Now, still, Devin Haney, in my opinion, is still going to lose. Be clear on that. Be clear on that. Understand that. He's still going to lose. Still going to get hurt. But if he was going to win, it's got to be a balancing act of boxing and also taking chances. There is no way with Haney just with pot shotting against this guy that he's going to be able to win and succeed. There's no way. Though the risk is going to be great, he's going to have to be able to willingly land something legitimate and at least eye-catching on a consistent basis to help put the judges his way to get a victory. Because they already, to a degree, are skewed against him not because of the system's against the Haneys, but because of the stylistic nature that they're trying to look for as to not reward, depending on what judges are there. Could be a real dangerous situation that he can't afford. Just boxing might not be enough in this fight. It might not be enough. Just boxing might not be. Now, again, if we see that Brian Norman Jr. can't handle movement and footwork and being able to get out and catch somebody, okay, different story. Devin Haney wins if that's the case. But I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Like I said before, he ain't got quick feet, but he's got good feet. And he understands how to be able to use his own length and strength to control you and to keep you where he wants you to be and never let you get comfortable. Especially against somebody that doesn't have a lot of power. So again, I'm right with you, Devin, or I'm right with you, Grapes, but I think he's losing this fight, absolutely. But let me see. Do you see, and this from Kingdom Boxing, did you see that the officials talking about Jai versus Bivol and what you think about that? Oh, wait, hold on, wait, excuse me. I'm sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. I did not see this. Wait a minute. Did you see that the officials talking about Jai versus Bivol? What you think about that and who you got? Oh, shoot. Woo. That's I'm not gonna lie. Well, hold on. Is it Bivol moving up or is it Jai moving down? Is it Jai moving down or is it Bivol moving up? That's the question. And I ask that because again, I've heard rumors and reports that Jai is gonna try to move up to heavyweight if he doesn't get that fight with Zurdo Ramirez in the near future. As also will Dave Benavidez moving to cruiserweight. So we got okay. So Bivol moving up to cruiser. Bivol moving up to cruiserweight against Jai Apatide. I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Bivol is definitely the better boxer. But I'm taking Jai. I'm sorry. I'm taking Jai every time. I'm taking Jai. I'm taking Jai. I'm taking Jai. Because that's like that. All the problems that Artur Beterbiev would bring to the table, Jai brings those in a bigger body. Jai brings those in an even bigger frame. And is at least on par with what we see from a power perspective with Artur Beterbiev. Arguably, because of the weight, is more powerful. Because right now, he's the hardest hitter at cruiserweight. Right now. He is. He is the hardest hitting puncher at cruiserweight, on top of being bigger than Artur Beterbiev. So we can assume that this will be even more of a problematic nature for Bivol to go and trade with Ja. Because I would almost be assured that he would have to take that same approach that he took against Artur Beterbiev. And it was insane that he could take those shots and keep on trucking in that second and in that first fight. But boy, that would be a situation where I think that's a step too far for Bivol to be able to overcome. Well, no. Let me rephrase it. No. Bivol could outbox, and with his speed, as well as he's deceptively long as well as a fighter, and his understanding of being able to deke in and out of distance while scoring and making himself nigh impossible to hit. Yeah, he could beat Jai Apata. But the damage that Jai could do, and he could do a similar, not nearly to the degree, but just using his physicality to walk down Bivol and just boom, 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 breaking him down just with power shots if he wanted to. He could take that approach because he could emulate the game plan that Beterbiev used, though it would not be nearly as refined as Beterbiev, because Beterbiev is a master of simplistic destruction because of his fundamental understanding. Jai is not to that degree the same fundamentally sound fighter, absolutely, but he makes up for it with that insane knife-cutting hand speed, fight-ending power, and legitimately big physical frame that anybody smaller than him, yeah, he could give anybody a time. It'd be tough. It'd be tough. It'd be tough. But I might have to take Jai. I might have to take Jai Apata. But with the understanding that it would be well and good within the realm of possibility that Bivol could get that upset and get that win. I think that's what I'll be leaning towards. And so Turkey's entertaining that fight. Okay, so entertaining that fight. That's why this is being talked about. And yeah, and if what Turkey wants, Turkey gets. So it's not a possibility. Let me see. Jai is not messing with Bivol, but I don't rate Jai at all high. Could be my blind spot. And again, it is the offensive threat level. It's not the defense that's going to win Jai this fight. It's the offensive ability to run roughshod over Bivol because of the lack of threat that he's got to worry about what's going to come back and hit him. And Bivol, even coming up to cruiserweight, won't bring up the power that will be able to really hurt or stifle the likes of Jai Apata with getting in and doing what he wants to do. I don't see that. He's got to be defensively on point at all times, and Jai can afford to take some shots just to go and land hard hooks to the body. Mind you, that was the thing that got Bivol in trouble in the first fight. Those shots to the body. On top of breaking down the guard and hurting him through the guard. And he was, again, for all intents and purposes, we can say that Jai is at least on the level of power as Artur Beterbiev from the standpoint of punching ability. Yeah, we can. And hand speed, hey, I'm looking at Jai Apata's hand speed. That would get Bivol some insane trouble. We discussed that hand speed before. You almost don't want to try to trade with him because of how quick those punches come out. Again, they cut through the air like a knife through butter. You almost feel it through the screen. How much he commits to it. It's a scary thing. So as of right now, I would have to lean towards Ja in this fight. But Bivol could make him miss. And if he's able to do like what he did against Artur Beterbiev, because that's what it's going to take, he could get the win. But boy, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I'm sorry, but if Ja just touches Bivol, it's wraps. And now, I will say, Bivol and his chin taking the punishment from Artur Beterbiev and never going down. We gotta give a lot of respect to what Bivol is as a fighter. Hey, we can't. I'm not going to just assume that he's going down to Jai Patai touches him, because he's shown against one of the best chins in all of boxing, or against one of the best powerful punchers in all of boxing. Okay, right now, Artur Beterbiev got the highest punch knockout ratio in all of boxing credentials today. It's above or at 95%. The only time he hasn't stopped people was against Bivol. That's literally the only people that he's never stopped in his career, which is ridiculous. Pound for pound, he's one of the strongest punchers we have ever seen. He fought that for 36 rounds. I'm sorry, 24 rounds. Preposterous. Preposterous. So I'm not just going to assume that, yeah, Ja's going to put him down and that he couldn't take the power with that in mind. But it's going to be the knockout is likely, though Bivol's chin could withstand it. But just the punishment that he could incur without having to worry about the power, the real pop that's coming back at him, could be something that, yeah, Bivol just can't overcome. Might just be. And again, bigger size-wise, he's bigger than the likes of Artur Beterbiev. Beyond just the power. So that's a whole nother behemoth to deal with. So it could happen. I just don't think it will. I just don't think it's gonna happen. But let me see. Jai is really good and tough boxer, but he's mentally. But it is his mentality that carries him, and literally reminds me of gladiators of old. Yeah, he is all about work. He's all about working tough. So this man only wants to, anytime, anywhere, any place. So he's definitely got that to him. I completely agree with that. I don't know why. Let me see. Going through. Jai is not. It's not Artur. He's not, and that's both good and bad, because he's not as smart as Artur. But he's not as smart as Artur Beterbiev. I'm telling you, he's not. Again, when I say simplistic destruction, I am not just talking about, hey, point A, point B. He just does whatever he needs to do to get you out of there, and then he goes home. It's not just he's just a simple fighter that doesn't use a bunch of tool sets. It is the fact that he does the path of least resistance, and he's able to do that because he understands how to parry, how to block, and how to smartly, consistently cut off not just the ring, but your offense. Jai does it by the sense of, yeah, I'm going to just crack you and land you. We've seen stuff landed on Jai, though. We've seen some offensive array get through with Jai Patai. We have. We've seen him struggle. We have. When it comes to Artur Beterbiev, even in the midst of his struggle, the way that he went about getting the win, he was able to, stop what was working and then overwhelm you in the process by breaking you down with, again, the simplest game plan possible. Not because it is just easy, but because, one, he makes it look easy, and two, because he understands the sport so well, he is able to go through and just say, okay, it's X and Y are the ways to win. I'm struggling. Okay, let me stifle this first. Let me start by doing my thing, and if he starts landing on me, okay, I can take the punches, but also formulate my defensive game plan. Boom. Now I'm starting to parry to that side. Now I'm starting to, boom, parry and throw my straight right. Now I'm leading with the straight right. Boom, going through. Stopping your jab that's coming through, because now you got a ramrod straight coming at you now. And then I go and flip it. Now I'm starting to land with my jab. Now you starting to switch up your punch. Now, boom, do the jab. Take away that offense. Hurt you. take it away. Subtle slip, hurt you again. Boom, boom. Then afterwards, now, okay, we got you where we want you. We have, again, through the easiest of me, it looks like you're doing it. It looks like he's doing the same thing every time. Just 1, 2, 3 to the head. 1, 2, 3 on the guard. He's too he's so heavy-handed. That's true. But what builds up to that is the fact that he takes away what you got. That's something that Jai doesn't really do as much. He more so just blasts through you with what he has, not necessarily stifling what works against him. He just says, it's working, but it's not enough. And then, boom, crack you, big hook, hook to the body, or more so uppercut to the body, hook to the body. And then normally, for what I've seen with Jai Bataille, it's one big counter. It's a counter hook that really starts the beginning of the end for most of the times with Jai Bataille. It's a big counter hook that goes through and boom. Once that goes, then you get to see, okay, boom, the unrelenting offense, the sweeping hooks, the combination punch, the speed, ragdolling you around the ring, having you hurt for 2 or 3 rounds. That's how it normally goes with Jai, which is incredible to watch, no question about it. But at the same time, it is still, stuff can work on him because he is less adaptable to means of success when it's on the other end of the spectrum. He's still young. He's still growing. He's still dominant. Be clear. The mentality, I love it. The warlike sentiment, I need it. The aspirations of greatness, we want to watch him achieve it. Doesn't take away from the fact that we're talking about Bivol, who moved. If he did move up, while it would be a very daunting challenge, hey, he brings some stuff to the game that Jai just doesn't have. And also that Jai just hasn't seen at that much of a refined degree when it comes to the beauty of boxing. It's just the truth. One of the things about Cruiserweight is it's not as laden with great talent. It just ain't. You got Badu Jack. You got Apata, you got Zerto, the normal heavy hitters, but outside of that, I mean, Apata's last fight was against Claudio. All due respect to Claudio, but it was it was a night and day difference. We was like, he really shouldn't be in the ring. From the standpoint of, is this really the best competitor we could get, or that we got, even if it was a mandatory? It's like, it's not as laden with a deep bag of sorts. And normally that's how it works when it comes to moving up in weight class after a certain threshold. Now it becomes size trumps all, and the talent starts to diminish a little bit. More and more and more. Then once you get to heavyweight, well, you see what we talk about now. All size is everything, and skill isn't really as much abundant. Normally that's how the trajectory of it works. After like 168, 175, even in 175 to some degree, the bigger the weight, the less the skill is shown throughout the whole of the division. And more so, the size is the biggest X factor as to what makes or breaks a fighter's success. That's just the normal scale of how the talent looks and goes as that time goes on. So that would be the interesting thing. Jai hasn't seen that much of a refined perfectionist in the boxing sense. The technical aspect, the footwork, the jabbing, the angles, the movement, the feinting, the distance control, the slipping and ducking while at the same time being able to score. The frustration that he has, that he can make you fight with, because you all of a sudden all your offense becomes obsolete. It can happen. It can be bad. He can still win. Get me wrong. Jai can still beat him. He would be the favorite, but it wouldn't be as much of a given per se, because that type of talent to that much of a refined degree from the technical boxing aspect just hasn't been seen as well in the likes of Cruiserweight. That would be the daunting task. But yeah, if he lands on him, yeah, sure. Yeah, he can put him out. No question. No question about it. Let me see. Jai is bigger and stronger, faster than most and more skilled. And I don't know if he's more skilled. I can agree with the speed, and I get the size and stuff. Yeah, I can agree with that. But I don't know about the skill aspect. For me, I don't see it. And I love Jai Patai, but I don't see it. But I respect it, and I'm not diminishing him. He's still great. He is still great. Let me see. This is why I love your show. Y'all just keep it 100. With that being said, let's not pretend that Jai hasn't fought anyone worthy yet besides Brendies. So we must wait and see. Yeah, and you're right. And also, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Like I said, I'm not trying to bring nobody down. We're just trying to. I'm giving you my honest opinion. I am never saying that Jai ain't talented, nor have I said he hasn't fought anybody great, even beyond Brendies or Breedis. Excuse me, I'm saying his name wrong. But there is still a threshold of like the aspect of understanding the game, even coming up. Bivol has been consistently touted as one of those elite minds that eclipses most in the boxing world. With all due respect to Jai, that type of mental savant, he just never faced before. That would just be the truth. I mean, when Canelo fought against Floyd Mayweather, when Canelo was of the higher weight, Canelo had never fought somebody of that savantism when it came to the boxing game, which is why he got exposed in some aspects. That could happen with Bivol against Jai Patai if we see Jai again fight with that same situation of, hey, some of this stuff I've just never seen before, fighting against it. So I'm not used to how to go and adapt to it. And that could be something that causes some concern. He could still beat him. Absolutely. But that's just a thing to look out for. That in this situation, the boxing ability could indeed be something that overshadows the physical and powerful advantages that Jai does have, that can make this potentially more competitive. But again, still would favor Jai just because of, at that point in time, from cruiserweight to heavyweight, from cruiserweight to light heavyweight, that starts to get into, hey, it's a danger zone. Just like with Benavidez. I say Benavidez is a danger zone if he tries to go to cruiserweight. I'm saying with Benavidez, that might be a step too far for you to fight at cruiserweight. And he's dominating right now at light heavyweight. He would be a cruiserweight size, genuinely. And this is somebody who sparred against Bivol, and Bivol said, hey, buddy, this cat's good. Really good. Before Benavidez's prime, Bivol was saying that about him. And I'm still saying that Benavidez I don't think you should mess with one with cruiserweight. Hey, I don't know about that. But again, that's just me. Let me see. Deborah, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. I'm so glad you're here with us on today. We appreciate your time and your effort. We appreciate you showing up and showing out with us. Again, we are in the championship rounds where we can talk about anything and everything in the world of not just boxing, but football, basketball, video games, movies, TV. 2K just came out. For anybody that plays 2K, hey, I would love to get some VC so I can play it. So if y'all want to bless my pockets with $50 so I can so I can upgrade my player. No, I'm kidding. If we're going to play, we're going to grind. Forget trying to pay money. Because I tell you what, we ain't giving 2K a dime up until they show that this game is actually up to snuff. And I will say, if you got a job and you pay for the game and you pay for VC, I understand. I capitulate. You're working. You can't grind like you used to. But if you can grind, hey, be like us. The soldiers that we get better by playing with a bad player and evolve as our player evolves. Oh, yeah. We want the work. We want the struggle. Because once we get to an 85, we go. But hey, if you want to expedite the process, Cash App and PayPal. Links down below. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Okay, so what you think about Parker versus Wardley and who you got? Yep, I was going to say that is another thing that we need to discuss in the world of boxing. Parker versus Wardley has now been in the works and talked about due to the fact that we are in limbo for the negotiation with Usyk versus Parker. If you did not know, Parker versus Usyk The extension has not been given yet up until they give some medical evidence from the side of Usyk, because there was a whole video of Usyk celebrating and partying, dancing on stage in I forget where, but in some sort of club, having fun, having the time of his life. But the brother was supposed to be injured. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on now. Wait a second. This brother was supposed to be hurt. This brother was supposed to be recovering. All of a sudden, that's piqued the interest of the world of boxing and has them saying, wait a minute now, what's going on here? So they have yet to give the extension for negotiations, and until they see medical evidence. So with that being said, this fight with Usyk versus Parker could indeed fall apart. It could indeed fall apart, and we could then see, as you can see on screen right now, the likes of Jai Apata, not Jai Apata. Dang it. I'm sorry. I've been thinking we were talking about him so much. We can see the likes of Joseph Parker fight against Fabio Wardley. Yes, indeed. And now this is a very interesting affair. This is a very interesting fight. And this is the fight that really has me. I am scared for Fabio Wardley. I'm scared for Wardley. I'm scared for Wardley. I'm scared for Wardley. I am not scared for Joseph Parker. I'm scared for Wardley. Joseph Parker, yeah, could he be knocked out? Sure. We saw him knocked out against Joe Joyce. We saw him knocked out against Anthony. I think knocked out against Anthony Joshua. If you are, again, and he's got a great chin to him. He's got a phenomenal chin to him. But if you are a heavy-handed hitter, you can knock down Joseph Parker, though it's a tough test to do. But, same time, Joseph Parker is a league's better fighter than Fabio Wardley right now. If Justice Hooney was any sign of the worst aspects of what we have with Fabio Wardley, as to where he's at in his career right now, with him being the interim title holder, with him now being firmly in the grasp of holding on to opportunity to get the undisputed title around his belt. This is the fight that, if he didn't grow from Justice Hooney, he's getting knocked out. He's getting knocked out. He's getting knocked out. Fabio Wardley is getting knocked out by Joseph Parker. That's my pick right now. Because, again, that last fight with Hooney showed me exactly how far behind Wardley is when it comes to being a fighter, one, with a secondary game plan, and two, fundamentally, with his ability to be able to box against a person who can actually box. When somebody can mitigate your aggression, like Hooney was doing, again, for 9 straight rounds, was slipping and countering. Was Justice Hooney doing to Wardley? After round 2, Fabio Wardley didn't have an answer except for throwing up prayers and bombs every which way. Hail Marys all to get out. Hail Mary shots aplenty. As if he was playing American football. Going through and whatever works, just something lands, something to happen. Please. Got beat up the Kingdom Come. That's what we're seeing. From the standpoint of skill currently with Jai Patai. Not Jai. Fabio Wardley. And Wardley right now, I don't think he can beat him. I don't. Because if we can see Joseph Parker get up and handle the power of Big Bang Jang, and then, again, with the legitimate offensive talent that Big Bang is, outwork him, beat him in the stamina department, absolutely, but then outwork him and counter him, beat him offensively. Then go and do that 3 more times, or whatever the thing was before ultimately getting his undisputed shot, his shot at undisputed title. The resurgence has shown, hey, I can avoid shots. I can get out the way. I was able to take Wilder's shot and slip Wilder's shot for 12 rounds and overwhelm him with my hand speed and my offense. And so Wardley, unless he shows me something different, Wardley is just too, for Jai Patai. I'm so sick of saying Jai Patai. For Fabio Wardley against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is too advanced. And also Wardley is too one-dimensional. For me to see Wardley be able to beat Joseph Parker. He's too one-dimensional. At this point in time, he's too one-dimensional. He doesn't have the wherewithal at this point to say if his hooks don't land and he starts swinging and missing like he was doing against Judge Soon, getting tired again, what is he going to do? What's he going to be able to do? Can we bank on another Hail Mary shot that lands? Or is it going to be that, yeah, the lucks run out, quote unquote? I have yet to see a real advancement in skill set and a maturity in boxing from the standpoint of understanding and working on your weaknesses from Fabio Wardley. Like I've seen, he looked the same against David Adelaide as did against Justice Huni. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Not because you're a bad fighter. He's a good fighter. Insane puncher. Incredibly dangerous. But the brother, at this point, now you're going up with the big leagues. And at this threshold, I've been saying you are not ready for that. Because you have not changed your mind with how you go about this game of boxing. Because you haven't added something new that you can delve into when one thing doesn't work. And you get into the thing that does work the exact same way, which is power. And we just saw somebody, they were 3 rounds away from beating you. 2 rounds away, excuse me, I'm sorry. 2 rounds away from beating you with Justice Huni. All he had to do was just walk away and just be defensive, clinch up for 3 rounds, he would have won. Justice Huni. That's all he had to do. That same thing could happen in this fight with Joseph Parker. Not with Jai Patai, with Joseph Parker. And he can do it. He should do it. Joseph Parker should win. I'm going to tell you that right now. Parker should win this fight. He should win this fight. Parker should win this fight. Because outside of another bomb that lands, I don't see Wardley being able to beat, outbox, or overcome the head movement, as well as the defense, as well as the power in his own right that Joseph Parker brings to the table. He can deliver in multiple different ways. Whereas Wardley, it's not the case. You just ain't. I guarantee you, Parker will take multiple pages out of what Justice Huni did and apply that to this game plan with Wardley. Because Wardley will not fight. He will not fight any differently. And those frustrations against Huni can get even worse against a better fighter against the likes of Parker. So I got Parker winning this fight. I do. I got to win this fight, absolutely. Let me see. I love how dancing is seen the same as being able to fight in a professional match. And again, I think it seemed like the situation was pretty serious. Now, we're not saying he can fight, but we are saying, if we were seeing Deontay Wilder, oh, I broke my hand, or if we were seeing Shakur breaking his hand, and all of a sudden we're seeing that brother on the dance floor doing a bunch of pop, lock, and wrist movements, it's like, wait, what the world? It's suddenly adding up. We see this brother twirling and moving and doing all this stuff, going like this and this, and it's supposed to be wrist injury with Shakur. All of a sudden, hey, I thought you said you were hurt. You shouldn't be doing something this strenuous that could exacerbate this specific injury in this type of way. And it also ain't a good look just in optics of, hey, negotiations have stifled because you said you needed some time to recover. And now you're doing all this stuff. If you could have been doing this, we could have at least been at the negotiation table and negotiated just a later date. But we didn't need to stifle talks because of an injury If you're able to dance, you're able to talk. So it should be we can come to the table. We can collectively, if I'm a job or time, make a date together. Even if it's later on. But you pushing stuff back because you hurt. And then you going out and you got a video of you dancing pretty aggressively, if I may add. I'm not sure what the injury is, but he's using his whole body. Arms, legs, elbows, knees, and back. Twists and turns, ankles and feet, don't matter what. This man getting it in. And dances a full, that dance was a full body workout. Whether you want to agree with it or not. And so it breeds a level of, hey, your contradiction. What's going on there? Very interesting. And it further bleeds into the fact that some people have been saying, some, not all, some have been saying they may be looking to, or that Usyk might be looking for that fight with Tyson Fury. One more big payday and then get out of here. Then that's the last fight that he's doing. Because again, it's his third fight, then he's done. Dubois was the second fight. He said he got one more and then he's out of here. What better way to cash out than to cash out with Tyson Fury? And make it that these talks do indeed fall through. If it does, okay, you get stripped. And then belt goes vacant. Tyson comes back. Tyson fights Anthony Joshua for the vacant belt. We finally get the big match that we've been waiting for. The all-UK war. Tyson Fury potentially beats Joshua. And then now, Usyk Fury for a third time for the undisputed title. Then you walk off into the sunset. Bing, bang, boom. Career finish. That's what could happen. As a timeline. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's a timeline that can potentially incur. And that can happen. But let me see. Poor Joe can't get it. Yep. And this is what I hate. This is indeed what I hate. The fact that Joe Parker has been deserving a shot for upwards of 3 years. And he's yet to get it. It's another Dillian White all over again. Only this time, there's no popping dirty. There's no drug-related situation. It's just been Jai has worked his way back to the top of the mountain. And he should be getting a title shot guaranteed today. Today. If these fights don't go through, hey, make Joseph Parker the champion. Strip him of the, what was it, WBO? It's either WBO or WBC. Strip Usyk out the belt and give it to Joseph Parker. Boom. Parker becomes the champion because negotiation couldn't be made, and he didn't get his deserved title shot. And it was a mandatory. So, belt gets put on Parker. Parker fights Tyson Fury. If Parker beats Fury, Parker fights Usyk. They could work like that. I wouldn't be mad at that. And again, this is if indeed this fight with Wardley and Parker doesn't indeed get made. And if that does happen, okay, boom. We see that happen. Again, I got Joseph Parker winning. And then make him the champ. This fight, I believe, Wardley's already won the interim title holder. So, if this is a fight that gets made, strip Usyk of the belt, put it on for this fight. Winner becomes the real champ. And now you got Joseph Parker, if he wins, gets two big opportunities. Get to fight Fury. 3 actually. Can fight Fury. Can fight AJ. Can fight Usyk. He can fight Dubois even if he wanted to. So he's got 4 different means of success that he could do. Finally. And deservedly so. Because again, he should have been a champion a long time ago. Or at least gotten a shot a long time ago. But after the years, let me see. Who's Joseph Parker's manager? They should have been fired. I don't know who his manager is. I don't know who exactly is guiding his career. But, I mean, is it... And again, managing, I'm still getting into the world of understanding the real ins and outs of it. But from this perspective, is it his fault that this is happening? Because Parker, like, he's been consistent. He's been fighting. He's done everything right. He has beaten everybody he needed to beat. He's gone against everybody that we could ask for. He went the right route after the loss, resurging his career, similar to Daniel Dubois. He beat Zhang, which was a needed fight. to help get him into the picture. He beat Wilder, which was a needed fight, to help get him into the picture. His managers put him up against people that are dangerous, but are, if you win, set you up for success. Now it feels like another David Benavidez situation, where, like, is it really on the manager's fault that he hasn't gotten the shots that he deserves, or is it more so the belt commission? Is it more so the belt commission that is the reason why he's not getting the opportunity? Because if you look at who Joseph Parker's fought, you can't say that the matchmaking ain't been great and the manager ain't set him up for respect. And so let me see. His manager should be making, let me see. Oh, Teddy Berkshire, hey buddy, what's going on with it? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So glad that you're here with us on today. Oh, no, okay, you came in early. Let me see. What's up with you? What's up, brother? How you doing? So glad you're here with us. We're in the championship rounds right now. And we are all excited. And right now we're talking about Parker versus Wardley. And more so Parker getting a shot at a title. Let me get right now. His manager should be making all kinds of noise, doing interviews, going to the sanctioning bodies conferences. Oh, okay. Okay. That I can see. All right. I'm with you there. 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 More noise should be made that his fight, that he has been robbed of opportunities to get a deserved championship aspiration. It should be that he's got more that he should be able to say. It should be he's more vocal, more vicious. Similar to what David Benavidez and his trainer and manager did when they went to Suleiman in the press conference. It was like, hey, give us the fight. Give us a fight with Canelo. We should deserve us a fight with Canelo. We've been number one ranked for 3 years. Give us what we want. It should be like that. And it has. Oh, I ain't got, yeah. Now, I'm not going to. I don't want to say he should be fired. Because, again, he did matchmake him into getting to this championship opportunity. He's gotten him to fights that we're like, okay, yeah, they make sense and it's good and we want to see it. But, yeah, he should be making more noise. If this continues, okay, sure, you might switch somebody new. But regardless of which, I just don't want to see this man done wrong. I really don't want to see this man done wrong. I don't want to see him done wrong. But let me keep on reading what you all I have to say. Parker ain't a big draw. Yeah, I mean, compared to the likes of this come from what was this? The word is this? Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm learning something new about my podcast system. I didn't realize there was plastic I needed to be taken off. I was trying to figure out what the word got stuck to my finger. It was plastic from the thing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was something I needed to take off. My bad. But regardless of which, it's not a big draw. Sure, it's not a huge draw. Absolutely. But he is lovable. He's got a follow. Vocal noise has been made by the public. If you saw that last fight with Usyk, they were saying, most of the public was saying, hey, give Joseph Parker his deserved shot. He may not be big in terms of cachet, but he's gotten the respect of the public. And so like, ooh, maybe he's just big enough that this fight should happen at this point in time. Because everybody else has been cleaned out. Everybody else has been cleaned out. And the biggest name that's available is Joseph Parker. Outside of Tyson Fury. People don't want to see AJ versus Usyk again because we know what would happen. People are they would watch it, but they're less vocal with trying to see Fury versus Usyk a third time because they know what would happen. He beat him twice, soundly. First fight was really competitive. Second fight was also competitive, but more one-sided for Usyk. And so, like, hey, the biggest name out there is, in fact, right now, Joseph Parker. That the public has also stated they want to see him. So I'm like, I think he might not be as brash or braggadocious, but he is indeed somebody that people do care about. Especially and you made this fight in New Zealand. I believe is he from New Zealand? I can't remember where Joseph Parker is. If he's from New Zealand, Joseph. Yeah, he's from New Zealand. You put this fight in New Zealand or Australia? Brother, my gosh, that would be insane. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. You couldn't tell me you couldn't tell me that they wouldn't make bank if they made this fight in Australia, New Zealand, in the biggest stadium they got, and they got some big stadiums, especially with cricket. Oh my gosh, you couldn't tell me. It wouldn't be ridiculous. That would be insane. And both of them would make money. They sell out within a day. I promise you. He's that big over there. He's got enough of a following over here, or enough respect over here. People, UK fans, even fans in America, though they don't follow heavyweights nearly as much, they are like, yeah, Joseph Parker deserves a shot and an opportunity. He's the last remaining domino in this fixture of talent that has been waiting patiently and beating everybody that he can. He's been one of the more active heavyweights that we've seen. He's been on 3 or 4 Riyadh season cards with Wilder, with Zhang, with Wilder, Zhang, Bacoli on short notice. He was supposed to fight somebody else because he was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois. Don't forget that. He was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois before Daniel Dubois got sick. So, he's been matched up with everybody we can think of that have been big names, that respected names. So, yeah, I think he's a big enough name to be able to make it happen. And so, he still can't, let me see, he still can't sell his fighter. Parker's like the Durant of the heavyweights. Well, I don't know about Durant, but he's one of the better fighters that has resurged his career, but has still gotten disrespected by the populace in a way that it shouldn't be. And it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. There's a more apropos NBA comparison, though. I just can't think of it at the morning time. There's a more appropriate NBA comparison I'm thinking of, but I can't put my finger on it. That struggled, came back, retooled their game, won, not necessarily championships, but turned back into a really good player. And people just kind of went, whatever. I just can't put my finger on it though. I say Durant because he also has no personality and is always in someone's shadow. But all the skills and abilities. Well, see, it's a little bit different. Durant's personality is like nothing but hoops. Now again, we're delving into a little bit of the NBA. So if you are into the NBA, you'll get what I'm saying. If you aren't, bear with me. You're about to learn something. Kevin Durant right now has solidified himself as one of the top 3 greatest small forwards in history. At the point in time when LeBron was in Miami and KD was in OKC, it was 1 and 2 between both of them as to who was the better player. Insane. Beloved. Love them both. Phenomenal. The wars that they had were incredible. But KD's personality wasn't as brash, but his personality was with hoops. As in, all he was literally nothing but basketball. This man was shooting. This man was practicing jumpers in the club with music blaring and bottles popping everywhere. This man has been single for all of his life, not because he can't get nobody, but it's been, hey, I'm hooping. I don't need nobody right now because I'm hooping. That honestly turned him into, for the NBA world, a beloved person. Because he was like, yo, he's the Slim Reaper for a reason. He'll kill you on the court without saying a word or with subtle things of just, be quiet and walk away. And then at the same time, you see him outside of it, it's just nothing but basketball. It's like he's literally a hooper's hooper. And that personality that people may say it wasn't a personality, but that is a personality that made him like infamous and famous. And like that's all everybody talk. That's why he's one of the biggest names now. Because it's like, yo, he gets the respect because of that one-minded type of personality. And because he's arguably the greatest scorer we've ever seen from an array standpoint, and a bag standpoint, and skill standpoint. 30 feet, 40 feet, 10 feet in, turnarounds, up and unders, post work, all of it. He's got it all. And so that's why I see what you're saying. Absolutely. And playing in LeBron's shadow, always being second fiddle. Yeah. Joseph Parker wasn't necessarily second fiddle, but got overshadowed by the bigger people of his era. Chris Paul got overshadowed by the Kobes, by the LeBrons, by the Dwights. People forget Chris Paul's prime because of people are saying Chris Paul ain't the top 5 point guard, forgetting what he was in New Orleans before Lob City and the Clippers when he played in Los Angeles. Like they forget that. They do forget that, and it's like they shouldn't. But because of the Durant's, Derrick Rose, Steph Curry, Kawhi who came up, LeBron who's been there, Kobe who's been there, it's like overshadowed. I think that's a more close comparison. But I get the KD situation. I do. I really do. Let me see. I'm all for Parker. Yeah, no, I am too. Like I completely get what you're saying. Parker should be getting this shot without any qualms. I don't care if it goes into next year to give Uzi time to recover. He should get a shot at the title. He should not have to fight again to keep his status as a mandatory fighter. It should be that he gets a shot at a title without having to do any more work because he did all the work he needed to do. And did all the work. Let me see. I like Parker too. Good, tough fighter. Got some skill. He really does. Really got some good skill. Derrick Rose, who, yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. This is what I was thinking. Either Chris Paul or Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose more than anything because, again, he retooled and regrouped after the MVP and post-injury still turned into a really good player. But, again, diminished. But, again, he evolved into put up 50 with the Timberwolves, was still a great role player for the likes of the the Knicks. And I think, no, not for Cleveland, because he played on Cleveland, but the fit just didn't work. More so that roster didn't work. Now, you could have kept Derrick Rose, and you could have had a better roster around them in Cleveland. In lieu of that Kyrie Irving bouncing all of a sudden from Cleveland when they were just off the cusp of, hey, we almost got a title, or we won a title. Now I want to do it on my own, and then boom, gets out of here. Now they scramble. Now they trade for Dwayne Wade. They trade for essentially everybody old. Isaiah Thomas, though he was more so injured than old, but still, it just didn't work out. But that's a whole other conversation, regardless of which. Let me see. Double Edge Logic, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Appreciate you coming in on today. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi's another one, though Kawhi more so is, see, it's insane. Kawhi's personality is robotic, and people love it. People eat it up. See, it's kind of difficult when it comes to fandoms and when it comes to how fame and acclaim is marketed, NBA's different from boxing. It is. Like you being macabre and dry is something that helps people want to invest in you. Like Jokic. Jokic does not care about basketball. Jokic does not care about his job in the NBA. He cares about horse racing. Legit. He cried when his horse won a big time race over in Europe. This man was ready to go home when he won the NBA championship against Miami. I believe it was Miami. Yeah, Miami. When he beat them. And he won Finals MVP. Should have won MVP that year. And he's been a 3-time, I believe he's been a 3-time MVP. Should have been 4. Should have been 5 in my estimation, but still. And he doesn't care. He's like, it's whatever. This cat's averaging 31, 10, and 10 on 55% from the field, 40% from 3, and nearly 90% from the line. It's ridiculous. But he doesn't care. He wants to go home. But that type of dry, uncaring nature has made him also one of the fixtures in this sport for a personality in the NBA that helps make the melting pot of this league be so interesting. Kawhi, same way. Robotic laugh, seems to not smile at anything. Ironically enough, is a really funny guy. But his humor is dry. But guess what? People love it. They do. They do. And it is. So, like, marketing in the NBA works differently. Fandom and what is seen as enticing or what gravitates towards fans in basketball is different towards what gravitates towards fans in boxing. Because that same dry or nice guy type of sentiment might not work well for marketing in boxing, but it works great in the NBA. Like Boban. If you remember Boban, but was 7'5". 7'5", and was the happy, literally the gentle giant of the NBA, laughing all the time. But it was in John Wick. And I mean, this dude was hilarious. But he wasn't great. But he was one of the most popular talents in all of basketball. Beloved worldwide. You couldn't walk down the street and see this man, and if you knew basketball, you weren't geeking out. Because he was just that good. He was that beloved. But he wasn't that great of a player. But people loved him. So it's tough to do the comparisons with these two sports in this regard, because what's not great and what doesn't work in boxing can work a lot in the NBA. Crazy enough, what works in the NBA, or crazy enough, what works in boxing, doesn't always work here in the NBA. From the standpoint of getting you liked or marketable or known and all that stuff. Like Dylan Brooks talks like some of these people that we see in boxing. He ain't great. He ain't that good. He's a bum. All that stuff. He talks like that. And people hate him. Despise him. If you put on a Dylan Brooks jersey, brother, you will be laughed out the stadium. Because Dylan Brooks it's Dylan Brooks. Why are you supporting this brother? He talks all that smack, but he can't do a thing. Can't do a lick from an offensive standpoint. And defensively, he's been exposed so many times. How the world is he? You want to know? Ha ha. He's hated by the basketball world, but he talks like a boxer. We're going to see you ain't nothing. He ain't that big and bad. Trust me, when I get my hands on him, but he going to be locked down. He ain't scoring nothing. He talks like that, and people hate him. So it doesn't always translate the same way. No, not always. Let me see. Katie, he got a girl. I didn't know that. I thought he didn't have a girl. The treats were clowning because he's not the video vixen type. I didn't know. You know what? Because I never seen him. You know what? Because I've only seen him hoop. I didn't even know he had a girl. Because he's been so dead. I did not even know he had a woman. I'm happy. She's probably beautiful. It's probably people saying that she ain't looking good, probably because they just been, psychologically, they've been messed up with how what's been portrayed as, hey, well, you need this as a girl. I guarantee you she's gorgeous. But I promise you, I've never seen her. You know why? Because I didn't know he had one. You know why? Because the only thing I know about KD was that he wanted to hoop, he's going to hoop, and he only cares about hoops. And he's that was it. It literally blinded me for knowing anything else about him. Because all I needed to know was this buddy just cared about ball. That was it. So I didn't even know. I did not even know. Oh Lord. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Let me see. Fact Joker could care less about what is it? Fact Joker could care less. It's just a job like Sugar Ray. And like even and you know what's crazy? Sugar Ray Robinson gained so much acclaim. So, deservedly so. Deservedly so. He gained so much acclaim. And he didn't even like fighting. He said it. Like he didn't even like fighting. Like, it wasn't like he was great at it. He didn't like it. But he was so dominant with it. Now, he also had a unique charisma and charm to him as well. It wasn't just like how he looked. It was also like how he carried himself. He was very much like a gentleman's gentleman and was like the effervescence of like, I don't want to say high society, but it was like if you looked at him and you watched him talk, like you almost naturally kind of gravitated towards him because he carried himself so highly. But he didn't think of himself as like holier than thou. But you could see he had that it thing about him. It's hard to describe, but if you watch him interviews and you just listen to how he was talking about at the time, like he was the role model for a lot of people. Like the role model in and outside the ring for a whole bunch of people because of his demeanor and because of his personality was in fact just the gentleman. A gentleman in every aspect of the word. Like if you wanted to be a man, you look to how Sugar Ray carried himself, how he talked, how he walked, what he ate. Just because he had that type of aura about him when he was at his peak. Again, this man had a 10+ minute standing ovation when he announced his retirement, of people just clapping. That's how much of a giant he was in and outside of the boxing world. He was ridiculous. It was insane. But again, it worked. And that's why, like, just be you. When I say be a personality, just be you. Because whatever, he was himself in every aspect of it. And you saw what it got him. You be you. It's going to work out eventually. You stay true to who you are. It's always going to work out eventually. I guarantee you. It always does. And no better example than him. Let me see, is Canelo defending all 4 belts or was he stripped? No, Canelo was stripped before his fight with William Skull. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Canelo didn't fight a mandatory that was William Skull. Canelo then got stripped because of that fight. Or that because he didn't fight William Skull. He then went and fought William Skull to become undisputed again. And now all 4 belts are on the line for the fight with Terrence Crawford. So yes, he is undisputed going into this fight. He has not been stripped of any belts going into the Crawford fight. It is going to be for the undisputed super middleweight title. Every belt and the lineal belts on the line. And if Crawford does win it, he will be the undisputed super middleweight champion and the lineal champion. So he'll have every claim to every type of role possible of being the man in this division. There will be no question. There will be no concern. There will be no debate about it. I promise you. I promise you that. And let me see, a gentleman, absolutely. And yeah, he was. And again, like the more you look at history, and the further you go back, the more you see just how impactful the likes of the Joe Lewis's, the Sugar Ray Robinsons were in and outside of the sport that helped them go into a pedestal like no other. On top of the talent that they were inside the ring. It's a beautiful thing. Again, if you can take some time and research, it's phenomenal. I can teach you. But again, sometimes you gotta just learn for yourself. I'll tell you everything I can, but it's great. But let me see. So does it reset of how many times you defended once you're stripped, or is he back to defending it 4 times? So, let me think. I think it's consistent. I think like you winning the belt. Like again, I could be wrong, but I believe it goes when you first win the belt. Okay, you win the belt, and then however many defenses afterwards you make of it. Okay, boom, you defend it, and then after that, if you lose the belt, okay, you're no longer champion, and you defended it XYZ like 6 times. Once you win the belt back, and then you defend it again, now I think that gets added to the total. I believe that gets added to the total of how much collectively you defended your title, because you are now reigning as champion. So I think it adds on. I think I could be wrong, but I don't think it resets. And I think it just adds to the amount of times you've already defended it. So if this was so this will be Canelo's 4th time defending the undisputed title, I believe. Because now he has all 4 belts in contention. He has them all. And now with him having them all, he has defended them 4 times. When he's been in possession of all the belts, he's defended it at that status 4 different times with this undisputed title around him. Because when he won the belt back from Skull, it didn't add to an undisputed title defense. It became that he was crowned again as the undisputed champion. And so now you're back. Imagine it like a king. A king loses his throne after reigning for 30 years, and then after 5 years, he gets it back. Okay, he got the throne back, and then he defended it for another 20 years. So collectively, he was on the throne for 60, 70 years. What was it? 30 years, lost it. Yeah, 30 years, reigned, lost the kingdom, gained the kingdom back, reigned for another 20, 50 years. So yeah, collectively, 50 years, he was a reigning king. That's how it works, I think, in the boxing world. If I'm wrong, please, delve with experts. Find out from people, and from people that have, Max Kellerman and others, to make sure that's valid. But I believe that's how it works. Collectively, that's how much the reigns are. So that's how it goes. But shoot, I think did we ever talk about Devin Haney? Did we ever talk about Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr.? Off the backs of the words with Bruce Carrington? I don't think I ever addressed that. I don't think, I don't think I ever addressed it. That'll be the last thing I touch on before we get on out of here, so we can wrap this show up and send it home. Real quick, I didn't discuss on. We played a clip earlier in the show. Bruce Carrington talking about Haney versus Norman. How he feels Devin Haney's going to win. And more so, the fight's going to be predicated on how Haney fights. If Haney fights like he did against Jose Ramirez to a lesser degree, Bruce Carrington says he can outbox him and beat him. To that, I say, I don't think that's the case. It's got to be a delicate balance of boxing and fighting. And it's got to be that he's genuinely, when he does fight Brian Norman Jr., if he fights even half like he fought against Ramirez, he's going to get knocked out guaranteed, because of the fact that against Ramirez, he was so tentative that that anybody with actual speed and foot speed to him would be able to go through and beat him. But if it wasn't that, he can mop the floor with him because he's just too fast. Norman, however, it's not the case. You cannot fight like Jose Ramirez or like that fight with Jose Ramirez and expect to get a win. I keep telling you. Yes, aspects of it, sure. Boxing, using your length and speed, yeah, you're going to need it. But you can't fight like that. Not even a third of that fight to have a shot at beating the likes of Brian Norman Jr. You can't, not at all. Because if you do, you're going to be in you're going to be in a hole. You're going to be in a hole. And you're going to back yourself in the corner that you can't get out of, and you're going to get knocked out. I promise you. Mark my words. If Haney fights like that against Brian Norman, he is going to get put to sleep. He cannot fight like he did against Jose Ramirez. Not even a third of it. He's got to fight like he did against Kambosos. More than anything. A Pope Grace. More than anything. But not Jose Ramirez. We cannot use that example as a benchmark for success in this fight. Because if we do, we're gonna set him up for failure. We're gonna set him up to get put to sleep. If we go that route, we can't do that. I promise you, we cannot do that. It's a dangerous road you're trying to put Devin Haney on, and it's gonna be bad. But let me see. Also, I almost forgot to say what's up. Dale Anderson, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. Leave a like on the stream since you are here. Keep on sharing the show. Again, if you want to support the channel, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below as of right now with monetization coming down the pipe. Get ready. Get ready. It's getting closer and closer. But let me see what you got to say. Hey, man, anyway, looking incredibly lightning fast and sharp and powerful in training camp. Yes, he is. Oh, my gosh. I am so glad you brought it up. Yes, this brother's looking good. This cat's looking real good. He is looking sublime in training camp right now against Akhmadaliev. Because look, Akhmadaliev, whether you want to agree with it or not, is going to be one of the more dangerous tests that we have for the likes of Inoue. Going into this fight at 122 to defend his undisputed title, it's going to be a dangerous war. Now, people said that he was ducking. He wasn't ducking Akhmadaliev. He was indeed fighting dangerous brothers, dangerous people. He was when they didn't, cancel the fight because of sickness or pull out the fight because of other means. He had been fighting dangerous people all this time. He had been avoiding them. Akhmadaliev just wasn't on the radar because he was doing bigger and better things. Now he's here, and as you can see with the video right now, if it plays, as he looking loose, looking sharp. Combination is still incredible. And mind you, pad work, like I said, not live. This ain't a clip of live sparring, but again, the same intricate, everything just sharp, eloquent, beautiful, powerful, straight up, no wasted movement. It's a great thing, man. This cat's looking ready, and he's gonna need it. He gonna need it. Because brother, Akhmadaliev is not a joke in the slightest. Akhmadaliev is not a brother you need to mess around with when it comes to not just power, but legitimate boxing ability. In fact, when it comes to power as a whole, we had Akhmadaliev say this about himself in lieu of that fight. If I can find it, here it is right here. This is true. This statement's true. As this is a quote with Akhmadaliev on this fight with Inoue. I can hurt anyone with my punches, and I believe in my power, and I can deliver it too. He's not an exception. My job is to beat him, and I will do everything in my power to do that. I have the whole package to compete at the highest levels in any department. I will prove to the world that I belong and that I'm the best. He's the full package and has all of the skills, but so do I. The ring will show everything. It never lies. Now, I'm not going to lie. That's a cold line. Hey, that's cold. Yeah, I'm going to steal that. Hey, look, MJ, I'm going to steal that. That's a cold line. The ring shows everything. It never lies. You doggone right it don't. The ring, even in, whether it's in robberies, whether it's in upsets, the ring never lies. And it will show you everything. Like I said, this sport is unforgiving. This sport is unrelenting. This sport is a sport that will indeed cause you to go through and genuinely get exposed in the worst or best way. And we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out exactly how good MJ is competing at this stuff. And again, he's a great fighter. But we're gonna find out if he's really up to this caliber. And in a way, he's beatable. He's not, he's as perfect, he's as close to perfection as you can get. But he ain't unbeatable. He can be put down. Like he was against Louis Nery, like he was against Cardenas, like potentially can happen against Ahmed Ali. If we see him get caught with the same threshold, hopefully he doesn't get caught with that hook again. I don't want it to be a habit of him getting knocked down over and over and then coming back and then turning it up. But still, it can happen. Let me see. Anyway, did an intelligent promotional move. Anyway, did an intelligence promotion move for X. I mean, he's been doing a really good job of promoting the fight in his own right. I'm trying to find what other things. I think there was something else. I think there was a better training video that he put out for this fight. I'm trying to find it. I think there was a better one that he put out a couple of weeks ago. If I can't find it, if I can't find it, I'm sorry. If I can't find it, I do apologize. If I can't find it, we'll make it do what it do and we'll show it. But I'm telling you, this man he's got to be ready. And I mean really ready to take on this test because Ahmed Ali can end this undefeated streak in one punch. He can, in one shot, Ahmed Ali can truly turn all of this around. If Inoue ain't careful. Is Inoue better offensively? Yes. Inoue's a better fighter in just about every way. But as we've seen before, buddy, danger ain't nothing but one mistake away. Ain't nothing but one wrong move. One overreaction. One time overreaching. One time going through and exposing yourself to a counter. Like that, you done. And Ahmed Ali's brother, if there was anybody that could put this man down, it's him. I think he's going to get knocked out still. I do. I think anyone's going to knock out Ahmed Ali. But boy, it's I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. Between that fight, between Inoue and MJ, and between Crawford and Canelo, brother, I'm everywhere right now. I am everywhere from the sense of just stress, anxiousness, anxiety. Oh my gosh. It's the worst thing in the world, but it's the best thing in the world because I love it and I can't wait to see it. But again, let me see. Tay, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Appreciate you going in. Appreciate you coming in and sticking around. Like I said, we're in the championship rounds. We're getting ready to get out of here. I'm not going to lie. We are in the later stages of this show. So whatever you want to say, we're doing our last call. Last call. Whatever y'all want to discuss and talk about, we can talk about it. We're going to take a couple more chats, and then we're going to wrap it up and send it home. I need some food. I also got to get ready for my breakdown that I'm going to do this week, either Thursday or Friday. So I got to do some early work to prep and make sure I got all my notes together. So when I do the full-blown breakdown this week, y'all are ready, and I can answer any questions y'all got. And I can give you as thorough of an opportunity as possible to delve into my mind as to what I'm seeing, as to how this fight's going to go from beginning to end, and who's going to win ultimately. So I got to take some time for that. But let me keep on reading. But again, last call for championship rounds. Whatever y'all want to discuss. And please, if you are here, leave a like on the stream and keep on sharing the show. This is the hottest show in all the globe, and you can't get no better than what we got right here on the Welch Report. I promise you, you're going to love it when you get here, and you're never going to want to leave. I guarantee you that. And it's going to be a great time. But let me see. His father even said he's not going to fight he's not going to fight the way he did Cardenas. Yeah, it would be smart. It would be incredibly smart. Now, again, I'm not saying he couldn't. And we can fight against in any style and be successful. But if we're trying to mitigate what's happened the last couple of times he's been out getting knocked down, it's been because of overcommitting. Let's be real. Part of the reason why he's got knocked down is because of the overcommitting to the shots. When he, especially with that left hook, leaving himself open to getting countered with the left hook by his, I think by his own hook. And it's again, you don't make a bunch of mistakes, but that zeal of going for the aggressive knockout has at times lauded him into getting cracked. If he's more deliberate in trying to be, you know what? We're going to smartly wait for the opening to occur, and we're going to set it up right. He can wash away all of it. But again, I promise you, just like with Terrence Crawford, in a way it's built in the manner that he won't just let himself be not going for that level of excitement. He wants to please the crowd. He wants the knockout. He's got that dogged mentality of I can get you out of here. And he wants to get you out of there. He'll take those risks, even if it's against the better judgment. Just because that's what he is. That's what he is. He can fight near perfection. But he fights in imperfection so that he can have the spectacular performances that we see. But it's just the makeup. It's just the makeup. Just like with Crawford. Crawford can fight in a way that doesn't let him get caught or tagged as much as he does. But he does it because he wants to show you, I'm that dude. I'm that bad of a guy that you can't mess with me. Yeah, I guarantee you. But let me see. Anyway, in Junto moved up and is next for the line for the title. Yep, in a way, in Junto, in fact, I believe, in a way, Junto is ranked now as, where is it? He's fully moving up. He's going to drop the belt, and he's ranked as, is it number 2? Is it number 2 or number 1? I'm trying to see which one it is. Give me a second. It should be here. I should have it loaded up. I can't. For some reason I can't find it. He's either ranked number 1 or number 2 at 122 now. So we're getting, again, most likely by next year we're getting that fight. Most likely we're getting that. Thank you. And thank you, Tay. Number 1 by the WBA. Thank you so much for helping me out. Thank you so much. Ranked number 1 by the WBA now. Over Roman Cardenas at 4 WBA title. So he's currently whooping the mandatory. And like I said, roughly a year or 2 ago, they shook hands and said, hey, we're going to fight. We talked about it on this very show. I think it was either Junto or Inoue. No, it was Inoue that called out Junto and said, hey, in a Japanese summit. And he was saying, hey, we want to make it happen. Let's make it happen later on down the line. And they both shook hands, walked up to the mic. They both shook hands. They were like, yeah, we're going to get it. We're going to fight. That time is nearly here. I've been saying it. For the longest time. We are on the cusp of that fight happening. It is Yi Jun Kim, Roman Cardenas, Ahmad Daliv, and then next year, probably January or February, even March, minimum late April, we getting that fight. We getting that fight and the world will rejoice. And I can't wait for it. Let me see. That's what he's doing. He said he's ready for KO or decision, which is good, which is great, which is phenomenal. Thankfully, he's going down that road, and I can't wait to see him on that night of the fight. It's going to be a barn burner. And, hey, you stay up. You better, hey, look, when's that fight? That fight is the next day. If I got my date correct, let me look up. Hold on. The time of that fight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we need to put. Let me read this real quick before I even continue. I believe Junto will brutally. Whoa. I believe Junto will brutally KO the monster. He dropped his hands when throwing, and when he gets hit, he's hurt. And I also believe the monster is ready for Junto to come out the gate firing. Now, in Junto's last fight against was it Kenshiro? Who was it? It's like Junto last fight. And we watched that fight here. What was his last fight? It was yeah, Nishida. That's what it was. Nishida. Not Kenshiro. I'm sorry, Nishida. Ryosuke Nishida. Brother, he came out from round 1. And if y'all remember, y'all watched that fight with me. Junto Nakatani came out round 1 of that fight, and he went ballistic all the way up until what the fight ended with round 6? Yeah, all the way up to round 6 against undefeated Nishida, and absolutely went like a madman. It was one of the most aggressive Juntos I have ever seen in my life. And I think Inoue was in the crowd watching that fight. He might have done that to give a statement, to give a mantra. Because I have never seen Nakatani go through with that much zeal and fervor from round 1 all the way to round 6 and try to legitimately, I'm talking just throw anything he can with max power all fight long. I ain't never seen it. That was one of the scariest Nakatanis I had ever seen from the standpoint of aggression. Never seen that before. That showed me a new thing. But that also made them show their hand. I'm not gonna lie. And again, we can talk about this on Thursday and Friday, but that might have also showed his hand. Because if he had came out and not did that, and then did that against Inoue, yeah, that could have set Inoue up for some danger. Oh, you doggone right. That could have set him up for some danger. Because all of a sudden, with that, it would have been, okay, we out the gate, we throwing bombs, and yeah, that early. Inoue can make mistakes that, can put him down. But because now we see that's a game plan that he can get to, and he's willing to go there if he need be, they might be ready for Junto to be able to come out a house on fire. I'm not saying he can, now again, regardless of what fight happens, I got Inoue knocking out Junto. I do. I really do. But regardless of which, it's going to be a legendary fight. But it's not going to be easy in the slightest. And with Junto showing his hand in that regard against Nishida, that's going to be, I think if he didn't fight like that, and then just save that for Inoue, yeah, it would have caught him off guard. Now that he showed that he can do that, and show what he's like when he does throw like that, with just aggression out the wazoo, no regard for human life from round 1 on, yeah, Inoue can study that and train for that. And I'm not saying it's going to work perfectly. I'm not saying that Junto's is going to lose outright. Yeah, he can win. I got Inoue knocking him out, but he can win, absolutely. But it's, I think he's going to be prepared. I really think Inoue is going to be prepared. I really do. And but I just can't wait for it. That's all. I have been hyping up this fight for 2 years. If you've been following this channel, I have been hyping up this fight, Inoue versus Junto Nakatani, for 2 years, as it will most likely be the best fight of this era, bar none. I have been telling people this is going to be the defining fight of this generation from the standpoint of quality of fight. The best fight of any fight that we've had in these 10 years. This is going to be the one that takes. This is going to be the crescendo of not just each of their careers, but of the whole of this era. This fight's going to be one of the best, not just Japanese awards we have ever seen, but this fight is building up to one of the greatest fights we've ever witnessed in boxing history. I'm so serious on that. It's going to be that destructive, that tactical, that much on pins and needles. One slight mistake from any of them, can end the night. And they know it. And they're bringing so much breadth of talent to the table that, man, if you are not willing to stay up and set aside your morning to watch this fight, you are robbing yourself of an opportunity to witness the greatness on full display. If I could go to Japan and watch this fight, I would. My gosh, I would. Oh, I would. Lord knows, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be something to behold. It's going to be something to behold. But going back on the thing that I was saying, or actually real quick, that judo killer shot is the same shot that keeps catching the monster. Yeah, it's either the left straight or the hook. It's either the left straight or the hook that keeps catching him. But the fact is you can't keep him down. That's the issue. What if you do catch anyway, which again is hard, but it can't happen. If you do, the change after the getting caught is really what shows the greatness of what anyway is. Like I said, if he gets caught with something in a fight, after that instance, he won't get caught with it again for the rest of the night. You saw it against Luis Nery, same hook. You saw it with Roman Cardenas, same hook. And all of a sudden, they couldn't catch him anymore. They couldn't hit him. He was reading when the shot was going to come out. He was anticipating and reacting before the shot even was happening. He was hitting him and beating him to the punch before the shot he was able to fully load up because he knew what was coming. He's that great. That's what Nakatani's going to have to deal with. And he was going to have to deal with that length and power and the destructive nature and the offensive insane ability. And the reach, oh gosh, the reach of what Nakatani brings to the table. It's going to be a bomber. It's going to be a barn burner. Somebody, in fact, well, actually, I'll say that for later on. I'll say that what I was going to say for later on in the week. Don't want to give everything away. But I'm going to say that for later on in the week, what I was getting ready to say in comparison to that fight. But still, last thing before we get out of here, understand, this fight is on September 14th. Crawford versus Canelo is September 13th. That fight is going into probably 12 or 1 o'clock. Do not go to bed. I repeat, do not go to bed after the fight with Crawford and Spence. Whatever you cook and whatever you make to grill for this fight, save it. Do not eat it all. And have it on standby to be able to get up at 4 in the morning and keep the train rolling. Because you do not want to miss what this card is going to be. And you don't want to miss. Anyway versus Ahmed Ali. You don't. You can't. You should not. Save whatever food you have and stay up early for that early morning, for 4 a.m. Because, brother, if you follow them Japanese cards, they can end in a heartbeat, and the main event's coming before 7 o'clock. Get ready. If you need to nap, you sleep until 1 or maybe 2, and you make sure you get your butt up, because that fight is going to be so incredible. So I'm telling you, you don't want to miss that MJ fight. If you can, don't sleep. Don't sleep on it and don't sleep through it, both figuratively and literally, because you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. I'm telling you, you're going to miss out on the start of one of the greatest latter halves of the year that we have in boxing today. You're going to miss it. And you sure enough don't want to miss it. But you're going to miss it if you ain't careful. Be prepared. Stay up and get ready. Because, brother, we are going to have ourselves a time and a half. That whole weekend. It's going to be great. I can't wait for it. But be ready to be up after Crawford and Canelo for Inoue and Ahmed Ali. That's the next day. That morning at 4 o'clock. It's going to be insane. It's going to be incredible. And I can't wait for it. But again, we're going to wrap it up and sit at home, and we're going to get out of here. It's been a phenomenal show, but we got to leave. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. We appreciate your time and ever joining into the show. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to what we had to say. Listen to little old me. Again, if you want to give and support the channel, we got Cash App and PayPal Links down below in the description as well. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Come on and join the empire. Come on and keep on hitting the notification bell so you know whenever we post right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. We're available on Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there. And if we're not, tell us, we'll get there absolutely. Also, be sure to share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers, and we can make it happen all with you and your support. And again, if you can't support the show, while we don't got monetization yet, and while we can't do the super chats, though we want to, we're getting close to it. And be sure, your process is going. But Cash App and PayPal on the screen down below. And we're going to be back on Thursday talking about the world of boxing and beyond on this show. Again, we still got the NFL season coming up. Still got the NBA coming back down. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And it's going to be a time, and you don't want to miss it. Absolutely. The breakdown for this fight is coming this week. Be prepared. My full-blown breakdown is coming this week, either Thursday or Friday. So get ready to listen, to debate, to learn, and hey, to get some insight on how I'm thinking. And then we're going to have it out on whether y'all think I'm stupid or whether y'all think I'm right. Regardless of which, it's going to happen. So be prepared for that. But I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. We are out here. Yes, sir. We are going to see you all on Thursday. Peace and love. Be safe, be blessed, and we out.